Welcome. Hey, Muhammad, you're back after a long time. Okay, good to see you. You should also switch on your camera, okay? Justin, Lillian, who's this? Caesar, all of you switch on your cameras. Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay. Well, it's a totally experimental class today. I'm actually super psyched to see if this works. Let's wait for all of the other people to join too. We'll start only at 6:05. Okay, so until 6:05, we've basically got some time. So you could just talk amongst yourself if you want, or if you have general questions, I can answer them. But we'll start around 6:05 or something. Oh wow, Caesar, are you outdoors?
No, I'm indoors. That's why.
Okay, this is pretty bright, but it looked like a wall, and it was pretty bright. And out here it's dark already. Okay, cool. Great. All right. So, if you have any questions for me, ask. What we'll do today. Today's plan, I think, is we're going to review all of the material because we don't have to cover anything new. Yeah, and I am going to, if we're not going to call for volunteers and wait and waste time and all. Okay, I'm just going to go clockwise or something like that. I'm going to call each and every one of you. You're going to take the screen, share it, and then I'll toss out a simple problem. Yeah. Okay. Let's say maybe Rebecca goes first. By the way, is the same ordering in Zoom for everybody? Like, is Rebecca in the top left corner for everyone? No. So it's all different. Yeah. Okay. But we'll do it by my screen ordering. Okay. So I got Rebecca and then Spencer, and Megan. Again, your camera is off, Megan. Okay, Jonah. Yeah. So we'll go in that order. Hopefully it doesn't shift around. Zoom has this habit of switching rectangles around, but hopefully it won't happen this time. Okay. And more people are joining, so let's give them a bit of time. And so the way I'm thinking we'll do this is, so I'll start off, and Rebecca is going to go to online GDB or someplace and start kind of, writing a very simple program. For example, thinking, we're just going to, we're not going to do any of those big games like, what we do in class. We'll reserve that for the actual classes. Yeah. For like next week, after the midterm, we'll start talking about objects. And then I'll try and think up a nice little application that we can code in one class or two classes. It'll do something interesting, like we've been doing so far. Yeah. So we'll reserve that for classes. But today's review. And so what we'll do is, yeah. So we'll just say, hey, Rebecca, we want to, here's a loop, and then, write a loop with I++ in a while that prints out the first 10 numbers or something like that. And then after that's done, we'll run it. And if Rebecca or whoever is coding is stuck, then someone else gets an opportunity to chime in and say, all right, correct it. And the thing is, it'll be done and we move on. And the next person, I may say, right, now take the code from Rebecca, now erase all of it. Now do exactly the same thing using a different control structure. Okay, so meaning that we are talking about behaviors of programs and how to get the same behavior in multiple ways. Does that make sense? All of you? Yeah.
Does efficiency
and
matter?
So, like, an if statement, and then maybe Akash got a message. Okay, so you're wait a sec. Oh, I see. Akash can share a screen, but you can share your microphone, right? Akash, you can talk and all. Yeah.
Yeah, I should be able to.
All right, cool. No worries about that. Okay. Yeah, but Dylan, Vanessa, and Kaden, you should all switch on your cameras. Okay. And by the way, before we start class, this morning, Stacy, our new VPI, sent an email out. I thought it was very interesting because she suggested a new way. Because in the past we've tried all these surveys, and I've talked to you in the past before I think in class sometime. We wanted to find out why people were sometimes not getting engaged in class, and we tried when Debbie was the chair of CS, the computer science department. We sent out surveys to get feedback from students. And we got some, yeah, okay. But I always felt that surveys not, not strong, but today when I saw Stacy's mail, I think this has a chance. Okay, so I made a little 3-question survey, and her idea was that, and I think her idea seemed to suggest that regular surveys are, we're going to have a hard time getting students to fill it in, but we have to do something very, very simple. And I think she said only 3 paragraphs, only 3 questions. What would you like me to start doing? What would you like me to continue doing? And what would you like me to stop doing, or something like that? But I think it was what would you like to see more of? What would you like to see less of? And what would you like to continue seeing? Those are 3 categories in class. So I'd like all of you, right? Every one of you to take a crack at the survey. I just made it, a Google form. So I'm going to share that in the chat right now. Okay. In fact, let me see. All right. Let me see if I can get it here. Just survey gone. Maybe it's here. Here. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so this is the survey, and sometime today, hopefully. Where's my Zoom gone now? Look here. Okay. All right. So here it is. So this is a very, and I don't think you need to disclose your email address and all. And I think it can be totally anonymous too. But please do fill it in, because these are the things that are really, really useful to not just me as a teacher, Foothill, the college, and many other colleges too, right? So because these are things that eventually find their way, or your opinions eventually find their way into decisions made by even the government. It all has an effect, trickle down. So you should just feel free, especially it's going to be anonymous. I think you can be frank and go and type. Not, you don't have to do it right now, but let me say that everyone who does that, at least I know for sure that you were present at this meeting. Yeah, today's meeting. And everyone who is present at today's meeting, okay, this midterm review gets a special offer. You can send in corrections for your midterm. Okay, so I made that post. I said that yesterday to the online catch-up guys in CS2A. But I think I should also extend this to this group. Okay, everybody who's here for the midterm review, you can send in your midterm corrections. Is that okay with you guys? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Corrections meaning what the problem is, and then you say, well, I must have checked that, and I checked this accidentally, or I incorrectly. That's fine with me. Okay. All right. So if everybody's okay with it, I think what I'd like to do is basically start off in clockwise or some manners. We'll start from Rebecca in my top left. And hey, Rebecca, when you're ready, you can share your screen. Maybe I need to do something here. Hang on. Multiple participants. Yeah. Okay. All right. So when you're ready, you can share your screen. And hey, Kira, you're outdoors, right? But it's bright behind. Yeah, it is actually bright, isn't it? If not for the tree, it would probably be bright here. Okay. All right. Okay. So all right. So here's what we'll try and do. Let's start off with something very simple. How about yeah, okay, we'll start with something very, very simple. Okay, should we do loops or branching first? Okay, all right. Let's do branching. Okay, so write a very simple program. Erase the whole thing. Command A and delete. Command A and oh yeah, all right, you can leave it there. You can also get rid of the online GDB comments and all. Okay, and this code is essentially going to be shared by Rebecca by clicking that orange button, and then the next person to take over the screen is going to fork this code. Yeah. And then start editing that. Yeah, is that okay with everybody? And it's just like a relay, and everybody today should get a chance to work on this code, essentially practice. And if you're not getting a chance, you should say, I want some practice. Okay, yes, yeah. So you're here in class, you might as well make use of it to get some practice for your midterm day after tomorrow. Okay, so let's say you want to ask the user so this is your practice midterm question, except you're going to be coding now, but in your midterm you will see the code and have a question about it. So it's pretty much the same. Once you do it one way, you'll find out you can do it both ways. Yeah. Okay, so I'd like a question. Ask the user for a name, and if their name begins with a vowel, say hello username. If their name begins with a consonant, you would say hi username. That's all. Okay, two things. That's all. So the next person to take the screen from Rebecca will have to take this program and try and do this with a different if structure, a different decision-making structure, okay? So feel free to choose the one that you want. Maybe it could be a ternary operator if you're feeling adventurous, or you could just, use else or drop an else, anything. You just have to change the structure, right? However, you have to erase everything, okay? Erase everything that Rebecca has done and start from scratch, meaning that you got to, do it on your own.
For this, would I put the name to be like an array so that I can?
No, but it will be in a variable called, what is it? It'll be in a variable call name, yeah?
Mhm.
So it'll be in a string variable call name. Now, everybody should pay attention to this, okay? What Rebecca asked was, we don't have an array here. How do you get to the first character, right? But however, we're going to leverage the fact that it's going to be in a string, and we know that a string can be treated like an array most of the time, yes? Okay, so that, I don't know, maybe it's not emphasized in text, but it just comes as you're reading it. But maybe some students miss it, but most of the time you can treat a string as an array. And the reason for that is that the string is simply an array internally of characters. Yeah, so it can afford to give you the square bracket operator for no cost at all, because it's just going to translate that into a square bracket of the array. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when you use a native data type inside of your more advanced data type that you will build later on, if you can expose a certain functionality of the native data type for no cost at all, and it's a useful functionality, then it makes total sense to expose it. Yes, like stacks, for example, you'll implement stacks in week 10, maybe week 11. There it makes sense to take that native data type and hide certain functions, right? You say, well, there's an array hidden inside of the stack, but I'm not going to give you the full power of the array. Okay, that you'll feel that when you're going to implement a stack in quest number 8, where you actually have a more powerful data structure, but you make it more powerful by hiding stuff in it. Is that counterintuitive? Is that counterintuitive or not? Right? You got a really powerful data structure like an array. An array is like the most powerful data structure you can get, right? In C++ and C. But a stack is, you could build a stack over an array, but a stack is not as powerful as an array, meaning that, you actually sacrifice some of your power in order to fit into a niche very beautifully. And that is essentially what a stack does. But you'll see, the trade-off between when do I sacrifice a power to get additional benefit, that comes with experience. I think I think that is how a stack was born. So anyway, technically you can use a data structure like an array all the time, anytime you use a stack. But using a stack has advantages, and you'll feel that. All right. So Rebecca's got that. Okay, let's say someone else's name. Let's say I don't know. Let me try and see. All right. Oh my gosh, everybody's name here. Aileen, Akash. Okay, Aileen, Akash, Akash, Aileen. Everybody else here begins with, other than me, everybody else here begins with a consonant. Roger, yeah, welcome to class. That's incredible, isn't it? It's the first time I'm realizing that it's nobody in this class with a vowel name except me and Akash and Aileen. Well, there are people that they didn't attend class today. Actually, maybe my screen is, there are more people here. No, that's it. I thought I saw Aileen before. Oh no, yeah, okay, not. All right. Okay, great. Everybody else. All right, great. Now here's what I'd like to do. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay, I think it works. Oh, did we try
I don't think
Akash's
it
name?
works. I think.
Oh, it doesn't work. All right,
Then-
hang
You
on.
need to switch all the ones with
Let's say it goes
zeros.
Did you
Oh,
try Akash's name?
I did it for one of them. Okay, my bad. Let me try.
It should probably all be uppercase as well, because all names start with uppercase letters.
Okay, I'll change that. I was just
But what if someone typed in lowercase? No, this won't work, right? Because you typed in Rebecca with a lowercase r. Oh, you want to type in an uppercase r?
yeah, but Jonah said usually people type in like their names with
Oh,
upper.
okay,
So maybe
I see. All right, that's great. Okay,
okay, now
it,
it's
it does work. Yes,
yeah. I just
yes, excellent.
missed a couple.
All right,
of
now
things.
how about Rebecca is going to share that link with Spencer, okay? And Spencer, you're going to take this and make it work with both uppercase and lowercase, yeah? And the way and the way I suggest we do that is yeah, okay, let's just do it with 4 statements. Okay, I was thinking what we should do is take it and turn it into lowercase first. Take the name and then change it into lowercase or something like that. But this is better. Okay, so you're going to have to put these, conditionals. And in fact, how about this, Spencer? When you do this, also instead of the vertical, or, okay, you're going to use disjunction. And that's called a disjunction. And or you're going to use and. Okay, you can only use ands. Okay, not ors. You can, ands and nots and all. You can do that. Okay, but you cannot use an or. Okay, how about that? Is it an interesting challenge? Okay, now before Spencer starts, and get rid of everything that yeah, okay, right? Get rid of all of that. Now, so this is Spencer's, and I think next up is Jonah on my screen. Okay, everybody is going to do something like this. Anybody wants to go immediately after that, just tell me, right? If let's say if Lillian here or Megan, even Vikram, Vikram is the last, is it? No, Angelo's and all right, there's a few more people here. Okay, Juliana is here too. All right, so yeah, anybody who wants to go next can just say, well, I go next, and we'll insert you at any point, right before Jonah even. All right, so here's what. Hey, all right. Also, even though it's not important from the point of view of the midterm, again, I'm glad that Spencer started typing like this. Formatting and styling issues, right? So things have got to be indented and they need to look clean. Now, in the past, professors have, even Michael, who used to teach this course before me, several years ago, right? They used to have questions in the midterm that on style issues, right? Saying, how many spaces should I use here? How many tabs? Is this if statement indented correctly and all? All right. So I decided it's largely a personal issue for many programmers. They need to be readable, but no, we shouldn't enforce any style, especially not my style. So we are just doing the suggested style in class. So in the midterm, we're just using my own question bank. Okay. So however, there were a bunch of questions in Michael's question bank that I thought were very nice. Okay, so I've borrowed many of these questions. So you'll see a mix, and hopefully there are no style-related questions in the midterm. So if there are, you should let me know so I can get rid of them from the question bank. Yes or no? Is that okay with you guys? Okay, and you get the point back. If you get a style-related question in the midterm, you got to tell me, and I'll give you the point back, and then remove the question. Yeah, so you actually get a freebie. Everybody gets a, not everybody. The lucky ones will get a freebie question saying, oh, it's a style-related question, and you don't have to pay. All right, thank you, Akash. All right, so great. And I'm glad I'm sending the survey out now. The one that Stacy suggested, because you guys are so quiet. You're not talking at all. So you should totally. And oh, by the way, for the purpose of the, for the other people who joined late. 2 things that you may have missed is everybody in today's meeting, okay, right? I've got the Zoom recording and all. Yeah, everybody in today's meeting can submit corrections for the midterm. So if you have midterm questions that you got wrong and you think you've got you can send me corrections. I'll give you the point back. And, if you're not in today's review class, no luck. Okay, so that's one. And the other is that I made a survey. Very nice, very short survey, 3 questions. What would you like to see more of in this class, right? Or we like to see less of, me chattering on about things that are not related to CS2A. That's something you can say, because I do talk about lots of things that to do with programming and things that are not related to CS2A. And in my opinion, and they are useful to your programming career. eventually. But if you'd like me not to talk about those things, I'm happy to, because there is a lot of stuff into CS2A itself that we have to cover. Yeah. So right now, the modus operandi that I'm choosing is that I'm going to touch upon the interesting things while working off your cue on what you guys are finding challenging and what you guys are finding, I mean, we still have to cover all of the material, so we're going to go through all of the checkpoints, but I'm depending on you to tell me what you find confusing, what is hard, okay? And I'm even when I look in your code that you submit for your quests, after you submit, in fact, I get real-time feed, right? I don't have to wait until the end of the week to look at your code. I'm looking at your code as you submit it. And I see a lot of things that I wish I can talk to you about, but I don't, because I want you to figure these things out. But however, I say, yeah, I see these people submitting the same quest again and again, okay? And I see what the error is. And maybe it's a formatting error, missing spaces, and they try the same thing again and again. And I'm thinking, why aren't they asking? Okay, it just takes one question in the forum saying, why is it not working? And they're not asking, okay? So please don't struggle in silence. There are other people who are probably going through the same thing. You got to talk and be more vocal. And so at least, so you got to do that. So again, you can say in the survey, you can say, minimize chit chat like that. Okay, just talk about CS2A stuff. That's okay. But you guys need to be vocal. Is that okay with you guys? I'm not getting any feedback at all. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Vikram is nodding his head. Okay, Kira. All right, smiling. All right. Thumbs up is probably much clearer. All right. Everybody should do the survey. Okay. Everybody should do the survey. Thank you. All right. So here's what. Yeah.
Wait,
And put a
did you
blank
put
line
the survey in the
after string
chat?
name.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
Oh, the
Wait.
survey is in the chat. Okay. Survey is in the chat.
I didn't
Okay.
see it in the chat.
And you should certainly let me know, because it's this whole class is experimental, right? We're trying to do this in a different way, and I'm giving you different kinds of information. You should totally let me know if all the side information about programming skills in general is useless, okay? Because chances are you got programmers in your family, right? This is Silicon Valley. Everybody has, and so if you think that all the side tips are useless, we could save a lot of time in class. So you can say, I want less of that. And we should focus more. That's okay too. More class coding, more, all of that, fair game. And that's what we walk away with and say,
We don't
well, okay,
have the
great.
survey in the chat. Can you resend it?
No, no, here it is. See here. You see
like-
the message from me at 6:07 p.m.
Wait,
That
for
was I don't
students
have that.
only.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, you know what? Why was I replying to Akash only? Why was it? Oh, yeah, I see. Okay. All right. So even though I'm in general mode, being able to talk to everyone, someone sent me a direct message. Akash sent me a direct message saying, I can't share my screen because of, privacy issues, and NDA or something like that. And then automatically my mode switched to reply only to Akash. That is, from a user interface perspective, that's not the right thing to do, right? Okay. I think, so here is a survey that goes out to everyone. So you can click on it and you can fill it out. And anything you'd like to see more of, totally game, okay? We'll do all of that. The only thing I will not do, even if you ask for it, is give you more of answers, all right? I tell you how to do these things. And also I will not give you more of help, secret help, one person coming to me in email or Zoom and saying, how do I solve this, all right? No. And as far as I am concerned, there's only two reasons why students don't ask questions in a forum, out here, because this is the place where everybody asks questions. One is you're not interested in the question, right? So you're not interested, and so you don't ask. And the other is probably that you don't want other people to know that you don't know. I don't know, right? So those are the only two things I can think of. Why would you not ask the question otherwise? Otherwise you're not interested in that. But if you're in this class, you're interested, okay? So that only leaves the other option. So you should absolutely feel free to ask these questions and go to it. All right. Okay. All right. So here's what he's going to do. So everybody's got the survey now. Yes. Okay. Great. Okay. All right. So to lower. All right. I see. Okay. All right. Oh, I see. And you're using a loop. Okay. All right. Now put a blank space. I see. Here, let's clean up this code a little bit, Spencer. Put a blank space after string vowels and move the get line after the declaration because it's part of the logic. Triple click and move that, keep the declarations together. Yeah. And a blank line. All right, so get line, and then it's going to do, and it's cycling through the vowels. I see. And it's checking the first character to see if it's in the vowels. If it matches any one of the vowels. Okay, so what was the challenge we started with? I forgot. Rewrite it. Okay, I just said rewrite it. I didn't say don't use loops and all. Okay, all right. All right. Well, okay, it will work. Thank you, Spencer. Okay, I agree. All right, thumbs up for you. Okay, it'll work. Hey, how come I'm getting these stars and all? Is this Zoom and it's how does it happen? Did someone give it to me? There's stars behind me. This is like explosions and like fireworks and all. Is it Halloween or something like that? I don't know. I'll look at the recording because anyway. Thank you, Spencer. Okay, fantastic. Because sometimes I've seen these pictures of in this gallery view in Zoom, and all of a sudden there's sparkles behind people, and it's just like one off. And I think it's like oh, you didn't see anything. Okay, so I saw these things come by. Did anyone see that? Right, maybe it's never mind. Don't worry. Let's not waste time on that. But good job. Okay, Spencer. Now we're going to do the next one. Jonah. Okay, Jonah. So you're going to take Spencer's screen, share. Now, Jonah's challenge is to take the Spencer's program and rewrite it without using the a loop. Okay, hey, Jonah, where are you? All right, no loop. Okay, for you, no loop, and no disjunction, no or statements. Okay, no loop, no or statements. Can you do that?
Yeah, sure.
Actually, I like it, right? Because we're taking the same thing with the Rebecca's this program's behavior, and we're trying to do it in many different ways here. Okay, and in the process, we're discovering a lot of things. Now, what I'm asking Jonah to do is actually in the midterm. I hope it's in the midterm because I made this question. I made a question on De Morgan's laws. Okay, and anyway, make a note in your notebooks or whatever it is. It's not in I don't think it's in the textbook, but it is part of CS2A because it's a part of logic and programming and all. It's in my CS2A, right? In fact, I made De Morgan's laws, DEMORGAN. Okay, he wrote laws about set theory, logic generally. He was a mathematician. Now, De Morgan's laws are used in computer science, but really, it's just De Morgan is just a guy who put his name on something that was already there. Okay, but it's useful and handy for us to just refer to it because if you just Google for it, it'll tell you how one kind of logical structure can be transformed into another kind of logical structure to have the same effect, which is what we're trying to do here. Okay, we got Rebecca's program, right? We want to write different logic, but exactly the same behavior. And you can use De Morgan's laws to do it. Okay, now Jonah is going to share your screen. And then you're going to write the program.
I don't have the code. Someone needs to share the code in the chat for me to use it.
Oh, hey, Spencer, you gotta share that link. You can actually take Rebecca's link too. Oh, you can go, go fresh.
I can just make it. Okay, I'll make a new one then. Okay.
Yeah, you can make a new one. We are going to take that and delete it anyway. So.
Okay, sure thing.
Yeah. Hey, Spencer, did you switch on the light or something? Because previously there was no light in the back. Oh, I see. Okay, so you were just relying on the backlight of the computer.
Wait, so how did you want me to do this one?
Yeah. Okay. So here, just delete the whole thing, and you're going to reproduce the behavior of Rebecca's program. Do you remember what Rebecca's program does?
Yeah, check if it had a vowel or a consonant.
The first letter. If the first letter is a vowel, you're going to say hi, and then the name of the user. If the first letter is a otherwise you would say
okay.
And let's make it a little bit more interesting. Okay. If it's blank, because it could be blank. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's blank, you got to do something. If it's not blank, then you check for the vowels.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to mute.
Now, is everybody with us? Okay, even though that Jonah and I are the only ones coding, you should all kind of be doing the same thing on your own. Now, is that okay with you guys? Because I don't know, because you're all watching. I don't know how many of you are coding simultaneously. You should all be doing this. Is that okay? You don't have to look at what Jonah is doing, but if you get stuck, you can see what we're doing and then go back. But everybody should be familiar with all of the techniques we're discussing today, all right, including this one, what we're doing now, which is using logical rewrite. It's a logical rewrite to get the same behavior with a different structure. Okay, same behavior with a different structure. By the way, is this setup working better than in class with the video and all?
Not bad.
Well, I know Vivian is saying, oh, Vivian, you are an in-class face-to-face student. Okay. So I was thinking that, oh, you're an online student. You're saying yes, but obviously, yeah, it's no difference for online students. But is this okay? Yeah, some people are saying yes, Dylan. Because if it really, really works, we can have more of these. Well, although next week, I'll see, I'll try and make it to class, and we'll see. Okay, if it works, we can have this happen next week also, right? We're going to be talking about classes and objects, and next week's class can also take place right here, like today, right? But you guys need to tell me if this works better. Does daylight savings kick in this weekend or next weekend? I don't know.
Next weekend.
Is it next weekend?
This weekend.
Pretty sure.
We'll see how it goes.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, because I would like an opportunity to see you all, face to face one more time before the end of the quarter, at least one more time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's November 5th. November 5th.
November 5th. Yeah. So it is next week. Right, we'll see how it goes. All right. So hey, no loops. You can't use loops.
Wait, can you repeat the task for this one?
So if the username is empty, you got to do something first. Okay. No, there will be loops in the exam, which is not Roger. Hey, Roger, you should ask. Okay, it's a stroke of luck that I saw your question. Because it just flashes on and off.
You said I also couldn't use or statements, right?
No or
No
statements
or?
and no yeah. Is that either no
Okay.
or statements and no loops. Oh, I see. You want to do many of these? Okay.
That's
but
the
that,
first thing that came to my mind.
yeah, you're gonna have many of those now, isn't it? Many C outs?
Yeah,
have
but
many CFs?
I can't think of another way to do that.
All right. So no, that's okay. Because I wasn't expecting you to do that. The important thing is to we all need to figure out who can now step in and say this is what we can do, so that we would have the same behavior as Rebecca's program, okay, and pretty similar to the structure that Rebecca had, except that it doesn't have any or, right? In fact, it's very similar to Rebecca's code structure, except you have this thing for no username, empty. If it's empty, you got to handle that. Yes, if it's empty, you could say hi no name or something like that. Yeah. But basically, you say if it's empty, you're going to say name is equal to no name. How about that?
What I wanted to do is I wanted to run through a bunch of things and then have a final else statement, and then the else statement would print something else at the end of
All right,
everything.
go for it. Go for
Okay.
it. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Roger, you speak, you should speak, okay? All right, so Roger said something in chat, okay, that it is a lot of code. Yes, it is a lot of code, but that's so it works. It works. And in fact, if you think about it, it's just lexical, lexically dense, okay? It's computationally, it's not dense. Computationally, you know, because he's got else, because there's an else, it's not going to do multiple comparisons, okay? Well, the first match, bam, it's going to go down that, yeah, and nothing else. So computationally, it's about the same cheapness, but lexically, you know, the way the code, there's too much code, yeah? Okay, all right, here's what we're going to do. Oh, did it work?
I'm testing
No,
it.
not
right
error,
now.
not error. It should be high username, yeah?
Before.
No,
Wait.
if it's not one of the vowels, it should say hi username, yeah?
Yeah, I'm getting errors. Oh, what?
No.
Oh,
What do you
okay.
mean?
That
No loop, so I don't think you have to do break.
Oh, you got a break? No. There's no statement called break. I mean, there is a
Oh,
statement called break. It's not a function. You can get rid of it. Yeah.
wait.
Just
So
say
then,
else hi username. That's all. Yeah.
oh, okay. But you wanted me to do something else if there was a blank, if there was something else.
Hang on. Let's do the hi username. Yeah. First. Yeah. And right now, right at the very top, if after you get the user's name, if it's blank, you're just going to say name equals no name, right?
Okay.
A name equals John Doe. Right?
Not how
So
I
John Doe.
initially wanted to do it, but
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
but what I wanted to do was I wanted it to have like an error message and then loop back through everything.
But wait, what is the error? What is the error?
It was about the break statement, which doesn't matter. Because I
No.
deleted it.
Wait, were you just trying to give it a chance for the person to re-give a name? Is that why you
Yeah,
did it?
basically, but that doesn't work if I also have to do.
No, I'm not
So-
following what you're saying here. Let's clean up this program and then let's talk. Yeah. Okay. So you're doing something here. Okay. And
My-
then you
my
got a return
initial-
at the end. Do you have a return at the end or something? And then you got a brace out of place. You got a brace out of place on line 20.
Huh? Oh,
Line 20.
yeah.
All right.
My
Now,
my initial idea was for there to be like a loop that
Mhm.
would
go through each of the vowels and
that would let them retype in the name if it didn't start with a vowel or a consonant.
Oh, I see. But that's different from spec, yes? Because you know the only thing we need to do was you get the name and then respond hi or hello. That's all we have to do. Because that's what Rebecca's program was. Because you know we can make it more complex, but then we will start diverging from the thing that we're talking about.
Well, I thought you wanted
know?
it to be different.
No, it should be different. It should totally be different.
Okay.
Yes, right. But not so different that we start talking about something else. Because as it is, there's actually something
Okay.
here that I want to talk about, right? And it's so here. One of the ways in which we can make it less code heavy is remove all the braces. Because if you notice that there's only one statement for each of the else ifs, yeah. So get rid of all the
Mhm.
braces and see if we can compress that into one frame of online GDB.
Okay.
No. You got to say not username equals blank. No, and yeah, get rid of that. Get rid of lines 51 to 53. Get rid of that. So what we
Okay.
want to do is after your CN, where's your CN? Where's your
here.
CN? Get line, yeah. All right. So after that, hit enter after the get line, get line, and here you can have if name dot size equals 0 or length equals 0, then name equals username equals John Doe. Right.
Sorry,
there.
say that again. I didn't hear.
So on go to the end of line 10 and hit enter.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And one more time. And now you can say if username dot. I think can someone check Google to find out if is empty is a string method, meaning that can you call string dot is empty?
I don't think so.
Does someone remember?
I don't think you can.
You can. String is empty. Yeah. Oh, it's just empty. String dot empty. Yeah, okay. If string dot empty, then you can basically say string equals John Doe.
Does it have to be this?
Username
Or
dot empty.
do I have to call
Username dot empty, and empty is a method. Yeah. No. Username dot empty, because you know there's no dot 0 there. Username is
I
a
see.
string. And then what is that thing called? Empty is a method you call on the string. Now,
And it's a Boolean, right?
Yeah, it's a Boolean return. Unfortunately, this is a method, and we don't start talking about objects until next week. So until then, just remember, okay? Just 1 week, you just have to hold on to this thing that, you know, string dot something is a method that is on the string object, okay? Well, it'll make a whole lot more sense starting from next week onwards, okay? Just right. String dot username dot empty is going to tell us true or false. True if username is empty. False if it is not empty. Okay, so now you don't need the braces. You don't need the braces. Get rid of the braces. And just one statement, you can say indent in and say username equals John Doe in strings. You know, username equals, yeah, John Doe or something like that. Yeah, all right, semicolon and then enter. Okay, now in a bunch of if statements, get rid of all the braces and let's see how much it compresses it. Triple click and delete. Triple click and delete. It's the easiest.
Triple click. What does that
No,
mean?
triple. No, triple. Oh, it's you're
Triple
on
click
a
highlights the paragraph.
Oh wow! Even double does it?
Yeah,
What
double
about
does as well. And online GDB it
Oh
does.
wow! Wow. Akash, you shared a link or something. What is it?
Sorry. It's my version of the whole value checker thing that we're doing.
Oh, I see. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Oh, I didn't
All right.
have
So here,
space.
this will work. Yes, this will work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it does.
We put a return 0 at the end, just to be, you know, conventional and all. It's
Mhm.
nicer. Return 0 at the very end. One. Yeah. Very. All right. Now, I don't want to lose sight of the actual thing that we were going towards, which is to rewrite this without using all the if else and switch statements, just like Rebecca had it, except no ors. Okay, meaning that you got to find a way to use it, get the same logic without using or statements. If you're stuck, I can help you with it. It's just got to be one
Oh,
line, just like Rebecca, and you can just do one case, okay? Uppercase or lower, it doesn't matter.
Do you want me
Maybe
to
all
do it?
lowercase is fine. Yeah. All right. No, not Jonah. So
Okay.
you had your turn already.
Okay, so should I stop
next
my
person-
screen?
yeah. Oh yeah. Before we do that, the person is going to take it on from Jonah is going to convert this. What Jonah has. We're not going to that other thing that I talked about, which is to not use disjunctions, right? We're going to take Jonah's code and rewrite exactly the same thing using a switch statement. Okay, switch statement. Raj is actually up next, but if someone else wants to do it, tell me. Okay, is anyone itching to do exactly the same thing as what Jonah did using a switch statement? Hey Jonah, where are you gone?
I stopped my screen.
But yeah, I can't even see you now. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you for sharing the screen. And in fact, it'll be nice if you can paste that link, because it'll save that whoever is going to pick up the screen a lot of typing. Or maybe, I don't know. Oh no, let's forget it. All right. Someone take the screen, okay, and rewrite the program that Jonah wrote, which is lots and lots of lines like that. Okay, you're going to rewrite it using a switch statement. And you know, if you're not sure, I will tell you. I'll tell you how to do it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to talk. Yeah. Raj, you want to do it?
Yeah,
Did
sure.
you raise your hand, Raj?
Yeah, I did. I can do
All
it.
right. Okay. So Raj, yeah, you can share the screen, and then what Raj is going to do is to, hey Brian, are you real? You know, I thought that was a photo of you. You know, it looks like a photo of you with a guitar and all. Do you have a guitar in your hand? Let me see. You've disappeared from my screen now, because you know. Well, you do have a guitar in your hand and you're outdoors. Yeah, it looks like a photo you'd put on, you know, on social media. And I thought, well, you know, he's just using his photo. He's not actually in class. So you are in class, unless you got the AI behind you and nodding your head and all. Okay, great. Great. Thanks for joining. Okay, but you got to put down the guitar at some time because you're going to have to code today. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So Raj is going to rewrite the same thing. Hey Raj, you got to do the same thing as him, meaning that if the name was empty, you got to say, you know, John Doe.
Oh,
Yeah?
sure.
In fact, let's do it a slightly different way. Do it instead of dot empty, say dot length equals 0. It's the same, yes?
Mhm.
And name dot length, username dot length equals 0. Oh, you got it. Yeah, name dot length equals 0. Then you can also, it's exactly the same. You got to be aware of both of the two different ways of doing this. Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody okay? Right. Either you guys are not muted, right? You guys can't talk. Are you muted? Yeah, you are muted. How do I unmute you guys? Are you muted by default? Like, or did you mute yourself? You should just unmute yourselves. It's not like class where you have this interference effect. Yeah. Actually, can you all unmute yourself? We'll just see if there's any interference effect, or the feedback thing that we got before. Can you all unmute yourself for a sec? Let's just make sure. Who's there? Yeah, welcome to class. Okay. I was actually worried about you. I in fact sent email to Caesar saying, well, there's a bunch of students who showed up for the first class who never came up later. Okay. Came back later. And I used to point at your desk and say, who's there? Who's here? Who's here? And say, nobody's here. Okay. Not who's here. Who's there was sitting here. He's not here today. Right. So you got to catch up on a lot of these things. And I haven't seen you in class since the first day. Am I right?
Yeah, I'll send you an email regarding all of this.
Okay. I say, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to catch up. Okay. A lot of stuff to catch up. You got to be fast.
No, I know
Right,
I
great.
haven't been just not doing anything. Yeah, I've had
Not
issues.
submitting. All right.
I've had
Okay.
issues.
We'll talk, but that we will get you back on track as soon as possible. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Great. Thank you. All right. So who is gonna he's gonna do a switch statement. Okay. All right. So yeah. So Raj is doing a switch statement, and we are going to maybe play around with the switch statement a little bit, clean it up so you can see the different ways in which switch statements are formatted and the different properties of switch statements. Right? It's in the text. It's in everything that you would see for the exam. But I find that many students did actually miss that. Okay, they don't read that. They just go on. Okay, I've done branching statements after they've done if statements and all. So this is good practice. Okay, so I think that's great. Increase the brightness here.
I had a question on switch statements.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like how he's typing case. So the format and like syntax of how you do that, you'd put case and then like for example, if you had an integer, then you'd put the number and then a colon.
Yes, that is right. And it's got to be an integer. Okay, and that is the most important. What Vikram said, one word in what he said is like super duper important. Okay, integer, because a case will only work for integers. Okay, it doesn't work for strings. You can say, hey, okay, it's name, switch on the name, and the name is John or Jill. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it has to be an integer because the compiler optimizes it in terms of jumps based on it has to be an integer, and that is a major thing that you got to remember for your exam. Okay, so if you get given a switch statement which uses strings, you should say that's not valid. Yes. Okay. All right. So there is a question, right? Potential question for you. Which of these above switch statements will produce the right result? Yeah. And you won't have time to take that and copy it and run it and all. So you got to, it does not work on strings. It has to work on integers. Does it answer your question, Vikram, by the way? Yeah. Okay. And also this other piece of information that I said is not in the book or in the modules, but it's important from the exam point of view. Because you need to know that it only works on integers. Because it has to work on integers. Okay, so right. So case A break. Okay, so the other thing that Raj did was insert break statements after all of the cout. Does everybody know why that is? I'm not going to say anything until someone speaks up. Okay, so why? So does anyone know or willing to take a stab at explaining why Raj stuck in break statements after all of those couts? Vikram, yes, go for it.
Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically, like I think because like for each case, like once you find the like specific case that like applies to the input, like you can break after that. You don't have to iterate through the other cases. So you can.
So what happens? What happens if he no, don't scroll. Okay, Raj, go up. What happens if Raj left out the break on line 16? Get rid of the line 16 break. Okay, what happens if that's the case?
Then it'll keep going on through the other cases.
So suppose. So what are the other cases, right? So I'm asking these questions, and Vikram may not know the answer, and you guys may not know the answer also. And I'm hoping that at least some of you don't know the answer, so that what I say will make sense. Okay, so what will happen if you leave out one of those break statements? And Vikram said it's going to go through all of the case statements. Okay, so let's say he left out the break statement after on 16. What would happen then? What would happen then? Right? So something very specific would happen if the break was accidentally left out. What is the bug? Yeah, that is the question. Okay, the question is, this is an open question to all of you. What is the bug that you will observe if the break on line 16 is missing? That's all. Okay.
Would it just repeat Would it repeat itself over and over and over again, or?
No, there is no loop. Do you have a loop? Do you have a loop, Raj?
No, I don't.
No. All right.
Oh.
No loop. So it's not going to repeat itself over and over again. Yeah. So the switch is just bam, bam, like an if statement. It's going to match and do stuff.
I mean,
So what
bug
happens
that
if
I
there's
would
no
anticipate is if I had some other thing for capital A versus lowercase a, it would default to lowercase a. Like, say there was no
who
break
said that, by
here.
the way? Raj? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So closer. It is definitely closer. Okay. So meaning that you get rid of that line. Get rid of that line. So what he's saying that if someone typed capital A, it's going to perform the action for lowercase a.
Yeah, if I did this, it
So
would
that's
go
what
to goodbye.
Sana is a very good guess. Okay, reasonable guess, but that's not what happens. All right, it's a reasonable guess. That's not what happens. That's why you need to know this. Okay. So the way the switch statement is engineered in a compiler is that it only basically defines the entry point of a number of possible branches. Okay, meaning that you got a sequence number of branches, and the first thing that matches is where it enters. Okay, after it enters, it's going to do everything until the first break it encounters. So if it matches the A, the capital A, it's going to do the first cout for the capital A, but there's no break. It's going to do the second cout for the lowercase a, and then it hits the break. So it's going to do both, but it won't do all of them. Does it make sense? So that is the bug, the exact bug. In fact, let's do that now. All right, let's experiment. Get rid of the break, put a comment. Yeah, put a comment in front of the, yeah, all right, that's fine. Right. So if you run it and type in my name, is it my name? Yeah, okay, my name. It should basically say hello. No, say hello. Yeah, change that to hi also. Not hi, hello name, and then something else, hello to name or something like that. For now, let's be unimaginative. Oh, and say all uppercase. Yeah, the first one should be all uppercase hello, and the second one should be lowercase hello. Oh yeah, that makes more sense. Okay.
Oh,
what? What was that? What was that before? What was the error before?
The error was that I had two uppercase U's.
Oh, two cases for the same. I see. Okay. All right. So now everybody understands what happened here. It's important. Yes. Okay. What happened? It didn't go through all of the cases. It only went through the first two. Yeah. And that is called a fall through. Okay. And maybe I'm not going to test you on terminology in the exam and say, what is a fall through in switch case statements? Stupid ass question. But knowing this is like super valuable. This is what a fall through is. So it'll basically fall through until it hits the entry point. After it hits the entry point, it's going to fall through until it hits a break. But it won't enter until it finds a match. So it's going to bam, 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 bam like that. Once it finds an entry point, it's go in and then bam, 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 bam until it hits a break. Yes?
Wait, how do you spell fall through again?
Fall. I think it's go to open another tab. And type in, C++ switch, fall through in C++ switch. Yeah, C++ switch. It's one word, yeah. In fact, I just made up the word. I didn't realize it was going to be there. Oh, it's a type of error.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know.
No. There must be something like C++ switch statements, case fall through, right? Type C++ switch statements, case fall through.
Say that again.
C++ switch, case fall through. Yeah. No, I think it is this. Oh, is it? It is. There you go. This is what it is. Okay. I think it is fall through. Oh, since C++17 indicates that a fall through. Where does it say fall through? Oh, wow. They actually have a keyword now called fall through. I didn't know this. I didn't know this. But anyway, that is what a fall through is. And I think, why did they, is that a compiler directive or some kind of a, oh, wow. Okay. Do you want me to explain what that is? Does anybody want me to explain what that is?
Sure.
Justin? All right. So I think what they're saying, and you should correct me, do some research and correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. I think what they're saying is that if you missed a break statement, which is a common error that many programmers might do, it might result in a bug in a program. Yes, like we just discovered. Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. Therefore, compilers warn you. Say, hey, you got a break with it's a case without any break. But what happens if you actually want a case without a break? Then in order to prevent the compiler from complaining that you got something there that looks suspicious, you're going to put this keyword there to keep the compiler silent. This is, in the ancient days, there was a program called lint. Okay. Lint is, it'll look at your program and complain about all little things. That's why I think it was called lint, right? Pick out, fluffs of lint from your program. And that would do all these things. And we used to learn all these tricks to say, well, you sprinkle these in your code so to keep lint silent, because you know that you're doing the right thing, but lint doesn't know. So sometimes you want to have a fall through, but lint or the compiler will complain, and you can put this keyword there. Okay. So, but that is what it is, a fall through. They're using that word, fall through, right? What happens is that you have a case, and if you don't have a break, it's going to go to the next one. Okay. So we can use that idea to simplify that program that Raj wrote. So if you go back to the other tab, okay, let's simplify this, right? So since everybody is going to just say hello, right? So it's what we'll do is get rid of, make it lexically more concise. Okay, so we're just going to have case A, all of the cases one after another. Nothing, no commands. Get rid of all of the commands and just have all the cases one after another. Get rid of line 15 and 16. Triple click and or delete. Yeah, delete. Right? Yeah, all of them can go. No,
Like,
you need yeah.
Oh, what do you want me to
Yeah,
delete?
from
again?
the beginning of the case E. From there to the beginning of case E. Drag from there to the no, you need the case A. You need the case A. You want to go from the end of case. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
This.
Yeah, all of it. You get rid of
Oh.
all of the couts except the very last one before the else,
Got it.
Oh, you do have an else, I hope. Yeah.
I don't
Default.
I don't have a
right, so
default.
we're
That's
gonna
what I
have a
realized
default.
while you were talking.
I see. So is it the thing for an else here is a default. Well, you can put it in an L. Is everybody following along? Is everybody coding this? Hands up if you're also coding this on your side. Okay, you should be coding this on your own. Everybody, hands up if you're coding. Well, I know Brian is not coding because he's got a guitar in his hand. Hey, Brian, you should code, okay? And who is this, by the way? Angelos, you should switch on your camera. And Jink. Hey, Ozer, you should also switch on your camera, okay? Yeah, so who's raising your hand? Roger. Everybody coding? Everybody's coding. Okay, everybody's coding. Good. Right. Hey, Juliana, are you coding? Are you coding too? I can hear you.
Yeah, I was muted. Is it possible that we just like pay attention to it and then the person shares the link with the code later?
Okay, yeah, I think that's
honestly,
okay.
I struggle when
that is
I'm
fine.
trying to copy and pay attention at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So Juliana, what she said, happens to me because I can relate to it. You totally not feel free not to code, but you should, just pay attention. And then, you get the link and you can review it later and you can code on your own by looking at the link. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, the only thing that I want to guard against is people slipping off, right? And, and so I don't want that to happen because I want you all to be totally engaged with this class all the time. Great. Thank you. Okay, now let's see. Hello, break, default. Great. Okay, now can anybody explain what's going on here? See, all of the cases, anything that matches, it's just going to fall into that block. Bam, like that. It's going to fall through. Anywhere it enters, it's going to fall through. And you're going to do that cout hello. And then it'll break. If it doesn't match any of those, it's going to do something that, what do I do if I don't match anything? That's a default. It does the default, that is the else. Now, does everybody understand how to convert an if then else chain that has an integer for the decision making into a switch statement? raise your hand if you're comfortable doing that, because it's not a simple skill. Okay, by this time you're already familiar with a couple of different ways of doing this, and you know how to morph one into another. Okay, thank you, Spencer. Okay, Spencer was the only one who raised his hand. Okay, I know how to do it, so I'm raising my hand. Okay, all right, so everybody who knows how to convert from if then else to, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, shaky hand is okay. Okay, like Juliana, shaky hand is okay, because you still have to review the code, and you have one more day before the midterm. And don't just read the code. When you look at Jonah's code or Kira's code or Rebecca or Raj's code, you should say, have it there, look at it for 5 minutes, and then say, I'm going to recreate the exact same thing. Yeah. If you want to know what to do, run it once, look at the behavior, and then say, I'm going to recreate the behavior using my own code. And you can do that. Yeah. Okay. Great. So if everybody's okay with this, we want to go on to the next stage, because there's a few more things I want to try. Hopefully we'll get to all of this today. What time is it now? By the way, we don't have to end at 7:50 today. How many of you have to go at 7:50? Because I don't have to catch a train or anything. I'm just home, right? So I can keep going on and on until everybody goes. How many people can stay after 7:50 today? Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right. So if enough people stay, I'm going to keep answering these questions, or toss more problems out for all of you to keep playing with, okay? Until you're done. And all right. So what I want to do is, after this, this next person should do exactly the same thing as Rebecca did. Okay, we don't go back all the way to Rebecca's structure with if and then a big ass condition there. Yeah. So we want to go back to that structure, except you cannot use vertical bar. Okay, you can't use the or symbol. Now I can show you how to do it. It's simple. Okay, it's logic, and I can show you how to do it. But it is something that will be tested in the midterm. I put a couple of questions in the question bank that test this. Okay, De Morgan's laws. So there you go. I mean, it's like 1.5 points each, and maybe you won't get it, but if you get it, you need to know how to do this. Yeah. In fact, we put a comment there saying, look up De Morgan's laws. Look up how to rewrite logical statements. Don't put a comment, but someone should, make a note. Everybody should make a note. Look up how to rewrite not documented statements, logical statements using De Morgan's laws. Okay, there's at least 3 points in the midterm, and you may get it. And that is basically, you get given an if statement, and then a bunch of other if statements, and say, which one is the same as that? How do you do that? Right? And that one uses ors, and this one uses ands. So how can you tell which one is the same? So in order to do that, you got to, if you don't understand De Morgan's laws, the same question will be answerable by you, but it will take you, I don't know, 10 minutes. If you know De Morgan's laws, you can do it in like 10 seconds and move on to the next question. So that is why it's like super duper important to understand how logic can be rewritten, not just for computer science. This is logic. So here's the hint for you. Okay, if you want to go and do some research on your own. So A or B, right? If I say A or B, it is exactly the same. Think about it. And if it's not, you should tell me why. Okay, if I say A or B, it is exactly the same. Now let me put it simpler, right? If I say A happened or B happened, okay, either A happened or B happened. What I'm saying is that it is not the case that both A and B did not happen. No, not A and, oh, not A and not B. Okay, so this is the same as not. All right. So if I say that A did not happen, not A, right? A did not happen, or B did not happen, it is the same as saying it is not the case that A and B happened together. That's what I'm saying. We got to write it out, okay? Can you, the strange. Put a comment there. I want to type this in, and then I'll explain it. Okay, put a comment there. Who is it? Raj, have you got the screen?
Yeah, which line?
Yeah, write a comment, and enter a couple of times. You say random digression to talk about De Morgan's laws, which is important for the exam. It's a logic rewriting, okay? Random digression, and you can erase this later. Okay, right? Yeah. De Morgan's laws. Everybody can make a note of the name. All right, rewriting logical expressions, rewriting logical expressions. Okay, and it's going to be useful because you can use that to simplify many of your conditionals. Okay, and an example of a De Morgan's law is on the next line. You can say not is vertical bar, no, exclamation mark. Yeah, exclamation mark, and within parentheses you're going to say not A or B, not A or B, Yeah.
Or do you want me to
yeah,
do
or I think, you know, or is fine. It's just a comment. Yeah, or is equal to, is the same as not A and not B. Okay. Meaning that if you take the and inside of the parentheses, distributive, right? If you take the parentheses inside of the if you take the exclamation mark, the not, right? Inverter inside of the parentheses is going to, the or becomes an and. Okay, and you can verify this. You can verify this if someone, if I say to you, right, if this happened or that happened, right, if I say either this or that did not happen, all I'm saying is that neither of those happened. Yes or no? If I say to you, either this happened or that happened, that means that it is definitely the case, yeah, that not A and B, neither of those didn't happen. All right, it takes a little while getting used to it. But it is important. And if you have any questions, you should totally ask here or in the forums. Okay. Now, in fact, if any of this code that we're writing has an error in it, if any of the things that we're discussing in class has an error in it, it's a fantastic scope for just mentioning it in the Reddit and say, hey, we talked about this in class, but it doesn't make sense to me, right? In fact, you can talk about De Morgan's laws. I say, hey, we talked about De Morgan's laws in class, or in this, you know, we should call it class, okay, midterm review, right? Talked about this, but I don't understand this because the professor said not A and B is the same as not A or not B, right? And I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to map this mental situation of, you know, not A or B, right? Not raining and umbrella or something like that. And this should be the same as that. And why is it not the same as that? And someone also chime in and explain this. Yeah, either me or a tutor or one of your classmates, even better. Is that okay? Yeah, this is like super important for the midterm again. So that's someone should rewrite this. Okay, so someone should rewrite the condition that Rebecca had. In fact, what you can do is after Raj shares this link, you know, you don't have to share this link, Raj. The next person to take the screen. Who's the next person to take the screen? Mohammed, you want to take the screen? Yeah. So you're going to rewrite Rebecca's logic first using ors, the disjunction. Yeah. And then you're going to convert that into ands using De Morgan's laws. Okay, so take the screen and then we'll do that. We got enough time, so that's good.
How do I take the screen? How can I take the screen?
Oh, you have to say share screen. You have to say share screen. Did you get it?
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
Great. So yeah, here's what we'll do is the first thing to do is reproduce exactly what Rebecca had, meaning, well, it doesn't have to be exactly, but basically you're going to have this long, big ass if statement with lots and lots of disjunctions in it, you know, or statements. And then we'll say, right, well, let's use De Morgan's laws and just rewrite the whole thing so that it doesn't have or symbols, and then it only has. There's a lot of chat messages, and you know, yeah, it's not getting recorded. The chat message is not getting recorded, and I don't even know. It just flashes, and I might have missed many of these. Okay, so please don't use chat as much as possible.
It's
Mohammed?
not when we share the screen. It like shows like a triangle with like an exclamation point.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
Is it a privacy issue? I don't know. Who's next then? We can come back to you. Okay, we can figure this out. Do you want to figure this out and come back to this? Yeah, we'll go to the next person. Who is this? You know, on my screen, it's Lillian. Lillian, you want to take the screen? Hey, well, you know, before you do that, Mohammed, is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's no problem. I'm sorry for
Okay,
that.
but figure it out because you're going to do, you know, maybe after Lillian.
Okay.
Lillian, you want to take the screen?
Sure.
Hey, Ben, we'll skip you after this, okay? Because you've done a lot of coding in class. Maybe we'll go to Kira and then Megan. Megan, you've also done a bit of coding in class, yeah? Kira, you did some coding too, yeah? Or did you? Did you want to also take the screen from Lillian when she's done, or should we skip over you and go on to oh, Vivian? You know, all of you have done coding. Oh, yeah. All right, we'll just go in order, and then you can say I don't want to do it. That's fine, okay? If great. Lillian, you want to take the screen? Share the screen, and then you want to do exactly what Rebecca did. You got to be comfortable with that, right? So you're going to ask for the print a prompt, ask for the name, and then you're going to have an if statement with lots and lots of ors in there, saying, oh, is the first letter, and let's just do all lowercase vowels, okay? Don't have to worry about uppercase for now.
Can I go after Lillian?
Oh, I see. Yeah, you can. Then we had if name dot empty. If name dot empty, you.
Do you want it with the empty or just like the original code without the empty?
Oh yeah, your original that Rebecca shared is fine. Yeah, okay. If you have the link, you could just use that link. I think you should share the link. Yeah. In fact, yeah, forget about it slower. Oh, I see. You want to do it this way. No, don't do it slower because you're going to have to do a name of 0 so many times that it'll just be a big statement, right? We'll just make sure that input is all in lowercase. Just say name 0, not is lower name 0. Oh, I see. You want to do that. Okay. All right. So here's what Lillian is doing. She's just converting the first letter regardless. That's good. Very good, Lillian. Yeah, good job. Okay. I didn't expect you to do that. But that is the right way to do it. Instead of having many is lowers, she just said, well, I'm just going to convert the letter and then use that from now on. Okay. And this is the right way to do it, I think. Yeah. Okay, great. In fact, it's better than what I suggested. If you remember back in the beginning of this class, I said, get the name and convert it all to lowercase, right? That was a useless thing to do because you're only interested in the first letter. So what Lillian is doing is actually much better than what I suggested, saying, well, you're not interested in the other letters. You're only interested in the first letter. So why are you converting all the other letters, right? So she's saying the first letter is lowercase, and which is a fantastic thing to do. All right. All right. A-E-I. Oh, you left the O, I think. There's O. A-E-I-O-U. Yeah. Also, I would suggest that don't use n for a character. Use the variable c. Okay, it's a simple thing. It's a little thing. The compiler won't care. But from a programmer or a mathematician's perspective, n is usually not a character. So you see. No, where you on line 19, where you say n equals is lower, right? Don't use n, use a different variable name like c, right? All right, letter is fine. No, I would say c because for a few reasons, okay? Here's the reason is because you know that there's a big condition coming and you got to use that variable many times on the same line. Yes? So you want to keep the variable name as small as possible. But at the same time, you have to be aware of where the declaration is and where you're using this, right? If it's a tight scope, like 4 or 5 lines, then you can just get away with 1-letter names because it's right there. So all of those factor into a programmer's mind to say what variable names and how they're going to name their variables. Yeah. Okay. So that's why I say C. And C is everybody knows. C means is a character. Okay. X is a floating number. I, J, K, N integers. Also, let's clean it up a little bit more. I'll put the C out on the next line. Okay, you got it on the same line as the if. Yeah, and also the C out on 20 on 20. Put it on the next line too. Yeah, thank you. Great. Okay. All right, and put a blank line before the if statement. Okay. All right. So this is what Rebecca had, I think. Right. We made some simplifications, but this is the core of what you had. Yes, Rebecca. All right, great. Now, so we are going to rewrite it. Anybody could call out the code. We want to rewrite it so that it does not use the or symbol, the vertical bar. Instead, it's going to use the ampersand, double ampersand. That's and. That's the logical and instead of a logical or. Who can do that? Can someone? In fact, what you can do is the challenge here is comment out line 20. Comment out line 20, and hit enter after that. Yeah, all right, go to the end of the line and hit enter. No, just one line, just that one line, Yeah, yeah. And then go to the end of the line and hit enter. No, end of the same line and hit enter, right? Now, put to do, anyone can do this, right? Basically meaning that anyone can call out the code and Lillian will type, okay? So put a comment there, to do, to do, right? Rewrite the above statement using logical and instead of logical or. Yeah, is that okay? You will never find a question just like this in the midterm, right? Because in the midterm, I'm not going to ask you to type, type in this, you will have 4 options or 5 options. You got to pick the ones that are exactly the same. I think that's harder than having to type it in. Because if you type it in, matching and it's hard, you get partial marks and all. This way it's, you can drill right down to exactly whether you know it or not. Okay, so you got to do this. Who wants to do this? Okay, you want to write an if statement that, hey, Justin, are you sleepy? All right, okay. Yeah, I saw you yawning. Okay, all right. So hey, Vikram, you got your hand up. You want to do that? Okay, but since you already had a chance to code, let's your second, okay, second choice. Anybody else want to call out the code for Lillian to type? Basically that to do thing there. We want to retype the whole thing, except that it only uses ampersand, double ampersand instead of vertical bar. Yeah, and it should
Dylan
have
has
exactly the same behavior. You can test it out.
Dylan has his
Justin, you
hand
wanna do it?
raised. No, Dylan has his hand
Who?
raised. That was just Dylan.
Dylan, where are you? I didn't see him. Where's Dylan? Oh, there. Oh, you went to the top. I was looking here. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead. Rewrite the whole thing. And
I think you can say
call it
so.
out and Lillian will type.
Okay. If not C equals to A and not actually, yeah, not C equals to A and not C equals, oh yeah, and not in parentheses, like each of them is like one thing, I guess. So like not C equals A, yeah, like that. And then not C equals E and then I O U like that. Like and in the same format. And then we would switch the lines. 20.
I think you're missing a quote after the A. You got to verify the logic and everything, right? In your mind. All right. So hang on. You're missing a quote after the first A. Right? Right. As Dylan is calling it out and Lillian is typing it in. You guys should tell me if this is correct or not. Okay, because you figure it out. Tell me if it is exactly the same, if it is different from the logic that Rebecca has up there. Tell me what the difference is. Okay, and if it's exactly the same, you should tell me, yeah, it's exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I would swap like, yeah, the 2 lines because now you're doing like the not A or B or C or D or E. So you want to, if the first if statement is true, that means that it is a consonant, and if it's not, then that means it's a vowel. Yeah.
Try something which begins with a vowel too. Now, there is yet another way to rewrite this. It says high in both cases. Yes.
Yeah.
So there is a bug, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys have to figure it out. How about someone tell me how to fix it? It's okay because it's a complex. What you do in programming is try to avoid convoluted conditional statements like this, right? In our case, we actually have it, and it's like a pedantic exercise. A pedantic meaning by the book, you need to know it, but you're in real life, you're going to try and strive to avoid situations like this, where you have complex logic and things could go wrong. Yeah, because figuring this logic out in our heads is always a bit of a pain. Yes, even though you may be familiar with De Morgan's laws and how it all works, even if someone tells you, umbrella and that kind of logic, it takes a few seconds for you to actually work it out in your head. At least for me, it's not instantaneous. I don't know. Is it instantaneous for anyone? I've been doing this for a long time and it's still not instantaneous for me. I still have to think through this. So what you want to do is understand how this works. And you can practice it, and you can practice it enough so that it will become instantaneous, obviously, right? But I haven't encountered this enough in my professional life to make this instantaneous. I think maybe that's in my hypothesis. But you should know how to do this. However, there's where I was going with that. Yeah, but there is a bug, right? So you got to figure this out. And well, how about someone figure the bug out? Okay, I know what the bug is. Okay, because the rewrite rule is actually very simple. Now, if you ever get stuck with something like this and a long convoluted expression with many ors, you can basically try a simpler one, just using two, right? A or B, and see what you would do to if. What did we have? If C equals A or C equals B, right? And you want to rewrite that using and. What you're saying, if you just think through this, is saying, is it either A or B, right? Meaning that you don't want it to be anything other than these two. Yes? It's got to be either A or B. Forget about A and B, consonants and vowels, now two variables, okay? Please tell me if you're with me on this, okay? If I'm saying that if it's C has got to be either A or B, one of these two things, am I not saying exactly the same thing if I say C is not neither of these? Meaning, if it is not neither of these, it's got to be either of those. Yes? It can't be not A and not B because it's got to be one of those. Why is it, maybe this is the time of day, right? I need some more feedback from you guys. I need some facial expressions or, something to indicate to me that you are on the same page, okay? Because this is an important concept and it'll come up, even though you're not going to be using it day in and day out in all of your code, it'll just come up in many different ways. Even in the ways in which you structure if statements without these conditionals, just the way in which you order these things, the logic is exactly, the factoring of the logic is exactly the same, okay? So please tell me if you are on the same page because there are points in the exam. And it is important, and it may take a little while getting used to it, right? Not A, if C is either A or B, it means that it has to be either one of those. What is not possible? It has to be either one of those, right? So what is not possible? What is not possible? It is not possible that it is neither of those. Yeah, so that is what you have to work into the condition.
Is it a double negative then? So it's not? Is that
yes.
What you're okay.
Yes. All right. So who said that, by the way?
Raj.
Yeah. Right. So it's basically double negative, right? You just have to work the double negative into the logic, right? So if it's not A and not B, that's all. Because it can be not A and not B. It has to be one of those. Yeah. Okay. So it may take a little while getting used to this. I'm not going to belabor this point anymore. We're going to step away from this topic and go on to the next one. If everybody's okay with this, okay?
What it's saying is, it's going through is lower name 0 since it's Allison. Then the first character is A, and in this statement, C is A. So if A is equal to, if A is A, I guess, then it would be true. But then that negation, that exclamation mark, which negates it, makes it false. But then everything else inside would be false within the parentheses.
Oh, actually, he's just got a typo. I thought the logic was wrong. He's actually just got a typo. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, well, all right. So I got to increase the font size. Okay. So it looks like I thought the logic was wrong. Sorry. Hey, Dylan, I thought your logic was wrong there, but it looks like you just have a typo there. Okay. It should work. Increase the font size a bit more. It should work, okay? And in fact, you can, instead of putting the, not C double equals A, here's a more concise way of saying the exact same thing. C not equals A. Yes or no? Again, just to rewrite.
Yeah.
Practice for you. C is not equal to A, and C is not equal to B, and C is not equal to C, and C is not equal to D, right? That is the thing that we're trying to avoid. So if not of that, then we know it is a consonant, okay? So, all right. So now that I know that these questions can actually, if you're speeding through the midterm, I can stick one of these questions in there to, slow you down a little bit because you got to stop and think for a couple of seconds before you get the answer. Okay. All right. So if everybody's okay with this, just make a note of this. You're going to complete this on your own, like Juliana said, right? You got a rough understanding now, but you're going to try and play with this on your own. Try and rewrite logical expressions. Because after the midterm, I won't get a chance to dive deep into this because we'll be talking about objects and all. Right now, up to the midterm is when
remove the end of parentheses.
Control structures and these conditions. Okay, yeah. Is everybody okay with this?
Right now.
Okay,
So
now
basically-
try Allison.
Sorry, so we're basically checking right now.
Hey,
if
did
it-
Allison for both? Did you get it right? Oh no, you haven't fixed the logic. Oh no, you didn't. C not equal to A and no.
I think we're
Oh,
missing.
you haven't got a
negation
big
as well.
you haven't got a big neither out there. You got it's not either to all of these, but you haven't got a big neither. It is not all of that. Do you know how to do that? Yeah. Is everybody okay? Dylan, thank you.
Because in this, it'll be like, yeah.
Allison?
Right, because everything else would be false, even though there's one true. Yeah, exactly. And no, what you had was right just now. What the instructor said, what the professor said. That's why you were able to receive hello, Allison. Because within the parentheses, even though the first step is showing that it's true, everything else would still be false. And so if there's a false with the true in the and within that equals to, like the ampersand, then it would result in a false. But then if you're putting a that negation, the exclamation mark, outside of that, all of that outside of the parentheses, then it would make that false statement into true, which is why you receive hello, Allison, right? Is that correct?
That's basically just switching around line 24 and 26 though. And it's kind of switching the prompt, because before we switched, because hello was supposed to be for the vowels and hi for the consonants. So in a sense, we put a
You also got hello, Bob? Brian said you also got hello, Bob. Hey, type Bob. Type Bob. Did you get hello, Bob? Oh yes, that's wrong. So there is still a logic error. Oh, did you have if not? If it is neither of those, then it's a consonant. Yes. If it's neither one of those. Oh, if C is not equal to A and hang on, C is not equal to A or C is not equal to B, then it's not the case that C is not equal to A and B.
Oh yeah,
isn't it?
No, that makes sense because
I don't think
he
it's
would
the
still,
logic.
right, yeah, and the logic from the past, what you had mentioned, everything would still be false inside here, right? Because B is not, no, everything would be true though. Yeah,
No, nothing about the logic. I think it's the is lower should be to lower instead, because is lower just returns a boolean.
Oh wow, who picked that up? Who picked that up?
Megan.
All right, Megan. Oh my gosh, thank you. I totally missed that. I would never have picked it up if Megan hadn't mentioned this. Wow. Okay. All right, too lower. Yeah. Okay. So because they're library calls, they're not in the syllabus. Okay. They're just library calls. Too lower takes a character, converts it to lowercase, and returns it. Is lower will tell you whether it's lowercase or not. That's all. Yeah. Now try Allison. So does it still say Allison? The logic looks bulletproof, yes? Okay. All right. So wow. Okay. You know what? I was looking to see where the hell it could go wrong, and I totally missed that is lower. Now, does everybody understand? Well, I actually appreciated what Megan said. Does everybody have an equal appreciation for what Megan said? Because it was so tiny, and I would have totally missed that. And it's it's a valid C++ function, so the compiler misses it. So that is like super duper important for us to keep a close eye on what is actually being typed. And yeah, this is a kind of bug. I don't know. This is a kind of elusive bug for me anyway. Okay, because everything looks okay, but it still doesn't work. But you're going to be coming across many of these things, but not like lexically like this. Maybe, you'll have pointer things that you think should work and it doesn't work, but you'll come across that in later quests. Thank you so much, Megan, okay? Because you just saved a bunch of time. Or I would have to skip this and say, well, you know what, you guys solve it and share it on the Reddit and we'll fix it on the Reddit. But thanks to Megan, we managed to fix this in time and move on. Is that okay with you guys? Hey, Juliana, you got a raised hand. Okay, great. You got a
Yeah,
question?
I don't know if I quite understand what just happened. So basically that function converts any letter to a lowercase letter.
Yes.
But-
You give it any letter. If it's already lowercase, it'll return it just like that. If it is
Yeah.
not lowercase, it'll convert it to lowercase and return the. So if you give it capital A, it's going to give you lowercase a. If you give it lowercase a, it'll give you
But
lowercase a.
I just don't understand how that's useful because she was typing in lowercase before. So
Yeah, no,
how
but
did
you can
that
do
change
uppercase too. It'll
everything?
still work. No, the thing is, because of that statement, she has the flexibility and freedom to type uppercase also, and it'll still work.
Okay.
Yeah, does it make sense?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was the bug that was making the hi or hello.
That was the bug. That was the bug. Yeah, that was the bug. Because previously, Megan had, who was typing, by the way? Is it Megan? You have the screen?
It's Lillian.
Oh, Lillian. So previously what Lillian had was, instead of to lower, she had is lower. Okay, can you turn that back, Lillian, to is lower? Okay, another function call. You can just do Google for is lower and to lower and C++ to tell you what they do, right? Is lower is a different function. It looks exactly the same. A different function, except it returns, Boolean, true or false, whether the first character is true or false. It doesn't return a transformed character. Does it make sense? So very similar.
Yeah.
And I should say my eyes are trained for these things, and I totally missed that. All right. So, or maybe it's just that I'm getting old. Okay. But this is important. Yeah. Thank you. So if everybody's okay with this, we'll move on to the next challenge that I had. So everybody okay with rewriting this thing and all? Yeah. Okay. So the next challenge I have is, let's write a simple loop. All right. Who's Allison? Lillian, thank you so much. Okay, thank you for driving. Okay, Spencer's had to go. Kira, do you want to go next, or you want to pass? Up to you.
Sure, I can go.
All right, great. Okay, so Kira is going to share her screen, and what we'll do is, let's say, so I'm going to, this is my manufacturer problem here. We want to incorporate. What time is it now? Want to incorporate? All right. So if everybody's okay with this, I want to incorporate both function calls, okay, reference parameters, and looping in one. Is everybody okay with this? Right? Just three simple concepts. And I won't go into well, before Kira does this. Okay, let's do this very simple thing, and I'm going to say do this on your own, and then we'll move on to the actual item on the menu. Okay, so Kira, just just remove everything and just do a very simple main. Right? So type in no enter your name and all. Okay, just type in. It's going to be a code fragment, just like in your in your midterm exam. Okay, midterm exam. So type in while int n equals 5, int n equals 10, right? Int n, or some number that you like, right? 10. All right. So on the next line, and you say on the next line, one more, right? You can say while while plus n less than 20. Well, plus n less than 15. I don't know, right? Plus n less than 15, right? And no space between the plus, because then it looks like n is right in between. Yeah. Right. Now you want to say print cout n, and then endl. No, endl. Right now, we're not going to go into this in detail, but can someone take a guess as to, don't run it, right? What it's going to print out? What is it going to print out? Someone take a quick guess and we'll move on. Okay, and then we're going to make a small change. One more question: what is it going to print out? And then, because these are two things that you need to basically think about just before the midterm. Okay, we have a structure like this. What is it going to do? Right. So, can someone tell me what it's going to print? What is it going to print? When Kira hits the green run button, what is it going to print?
Can I guess?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, I think it's gonna be
What's the first number? What's the first number it'll print?
I think it'll be 11, 12, 13, 14. Is that it? Just 11, 12, 13, 14?
That's it. Okay. So does everybody understand what Kira just said? By the way, can someone repeat what the numbers are? Right. So now that Kira said it and you heard it, so someone else repeat the numbers that this is going to print.
11,
12,
oh,
13.
12, 13, 14.
It starts at 12? Did you say?
No,
11.
it starts at 11.
Starts at 11. Yeah.
Starts at
Starts at
11.
11. Okay.
And plus 1.
Great, great. Okay. So that's like super important to know, and you experiment and find out. Now, what happens if you put the n plus n to an n plus plus? Okay. Is it going to be the same? Now, let's not do that. And, we're not going to go through this question and answer loop again, but it's just an example of how you can play with this and look at, imagine in your head what the output is going to be and what the difference is, because you're going to be exploiting these differences. Now, the other thing you can do is convert the while loop, exactly the same behavior, into a do while loop. Okay. So here, but put a to do there, put a to do, no, don't do it, Kira. We'll just move on to the actual item, but put a to do there so that people can look at it and try this out. To do experiments you can try. All right. To do experiments you can try. On the first line after that, say convert the above, get the same behavior, Yeah. On the next line. To do on the next line, you can say number one, the first one is get the same behavior using n plus plus instead of plus n. And then on the next line, number 2, one more thing you can try, right? Plus n. Oh, did it auto complete the namespace? That's funny. All right. And 2, and then get the same behavior as number 1, and then this is number 2. Yeah. Right. And then you can get the same behavior using a for loop. Get the same behavior using a for loop. And the next one is get the same behavior using a do while loop. Okay. And in the process of doing this, you will find out how to structure these different loops. At the end of the day, there's only a few different data structures, a few different control structures. Yes, this is a finite language, not like English. So maybe you got like 50 different control structures. And it's not going to take you a lot of time to just get into the nuts and bolts of each and understand every one of these. It's only the people who say, I'm not going to understand the whole thing and just go on to the advanced stuff before, they have a tough time. But this is only, not just a handful of control structures. So just spend time. It's well worth it. Just get to the bottom of these and find out how these things work. And you can use all of these. All right, great. So the 3, 4, do while, for loop. All right, that's all. Okay. Now let's erase this whole thing and let's go into this other thing, the main challenge for Kira and all of you. You can erase the whole thing. Right. So here is what I'm thinking in this program. You want to leave it in a comment? Okay, great. Okay. So in this program, let's say you are going to populate. No, wait a sec. I was thinking of a vector. All right. You can use either a native array or a vector. Fill it in. What were the 3 things I said? Using arrays or vectors, functions, passing by parameter, and looping. Yeah. Okay. Right. So, all right, we're going to use vectors. All right. So functions, passing by parameter, passing by reference, and looping. Okay. All right. So you're going to, in your main, yeah, let's spec it out. And then, Kira will write it and you guys can all contribute also. But put a to do there, big to do. Yeah. Big to do and a comment and to do, right? In this program, you're going to create, in main, you're going to create a vector and fill it with 10 random integers between 0 and 100. So which means you're going to do resize, vector.resize to increase the size of the vector. Yeah. Right. Okay. Between 0 and 100. And then you're going to pass this vector by reference to a function called calculate mean. Mean.
Wait, sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, you got a loop. Sorry?
What did you say to write next?
Oh, create a vector and fill it with 10 random integers between 0 and 100. Right. Oh, I see. Pass this vector to a function. Pass this vector by reference. Yeah. Reference to a function, and then within brackets you can say you got to create the function too, right? You got to create the function too. Yeah, create the function too. And the next line you can say this function should calculate the average. Did we already do average in the previous class? Oh, we did the average. Right. How about this function should calculate the minimum of the minimum number in the vector and return it. And you can call this function find min, right? Find, yeah. And the name of the function should be find min in vector. Okay. I think, yeah. Find _ min. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's all. Okay. So Kira is going to cut the code for this. And then if you guys have any questions, you can chime in. If you want to do your own, you can do that. Or if you can develop your own flavor of this, you can do that too. Yeah, okay. Or you can chime in and basically, call out the code that Kira is typing. It doesn't matter if she's typing the same thing as what you're calling out. Yeah, totally doesn't matter, right? Because many people have the same idea, and it's good to confer like that. And also be confirmation for when she's typing. Oh, someone's calling out the same thing, so I'm pretty sure there's no bug in there. Yeah, so. You can take the screen and go ahead, Kira. You can start typing. If someone wants to join and chime in and talk, they will do so. And please do so, anyone, right? Like Roger was doing before. And you can just grab the mic and start talking. Oh wow, Brian, your palms are red. Is that the lighting from your keyboard? All right, okay. That's kind of cool.
How do you call a is it
Oh, by the way, Kira,
yeah.
Let's not define a function inside another function,
Oh right. Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, technically it is possible. It's called a lambda, right? So you can define functions, especially people who program JavaScript and all. They should be aware. I don't know. Is there anybody here in class who knows JavaScript? There is this concept called a closure in JavaScript. A closure is basically a function that's defined inside of another function, but it has some interesting properties that it will remember certain variables, even though they've gone out of scope. Now, these are things that you'll actually leverage, okay? And it's possible to do all of that in C++. Anything you can do in any language, you can also do in C++. that is the end of story, right? The truth of it is that you can do anything in any language that you can do it in C++. Whatever the language is, maybe it'll be, computer science. Speaking of computer science, anything you can do in any language, you can do in Turing machine, right? Why go to C++? You can do it in Turing machine, right? You can just program in ones and zeros. Because a Turing machine is capable of anything that is computable. All right. Okay. So sorry to digress there.
What's the thing that you have to include if you're using
vector?
Okay.
And also, I think did you get that stdio.h by default, or did you put it in yourself?
No, it was by default, I think.
Oh, it was by default.
Wait, was
so
it? Oh, I
strange.
haven't selected C++ yet. Oops.
But why didn't it change? Why didn't it? But when you changed language, it did, oh, I see. Left the code alone. Just out of curiosity, just open another tab and go to C++ and see if it gives you that thing. Go to online GDB and then type select C++.
No,
it does give you IOStream. So yeah, maybe the first default thing was that. Okay, great. Now you want to pass by reference. Important concept for the midterm. You got to find out what passing by reference and passing by copy is. We talked about this in quite a lot of last class. We talked about passing by reference and copy. Yeah. Okay. Now in this case, we're passing the vector by reference. Now you should talk about this in the forums and say, why did we pass the vector by reference in Kira's program? And there is a reason for that. Yes. And in fact, we'll qualify that slightly differently now. Put an ampersand in front of the ints. Yeah. Ints. And also put an ampersand there. And also before the word vector, put the word const. Okay. Now that's something for you guys to research. And it may be in the midterm exam. You need to find out what each of those keywords do. Right. Find out what the word const does in that declaration. Okay. And if you don't know, you just copy that, put it in the Reddit and say, hey guys, I'm trying to prepare for the midterm and we had this code in class. What does it mean? What does a const mean? Okay. Can someone help me out? Are you guys okay with that? Okay, so if I find what const means and the ampersand, and that's good, right? And also and discuss why. One more comment. Discuss why we're passing by reference instead of by copy. Okay, so that's all we have to do. So in your main, you're going to do the usual thing by filling the vector first, and then you're going to pass the vector to your function, and then you're going to get the return value and say the minimum of this vector is this. And if you like, you can print out the vector itself by cycling through the vector and saying what we did before, right? First number /t, the tab, right? And all the numbers on one line, tab between them, and then say the average of those numbers is, or the minimum of those numbers is. Okay, so we get an idea of Now, is everybody okay with what Kira's typing? She's using a for loop to go over the vector and print out all of the numbers. Everybody okay with this? Yeah? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. Vikram has his hand up.
Yeah.
Once Akira. Sorry, Vikram?
Yeah, Professor, I have another meeting right now, so I'll have to leave. Is
Oh,
that
you got to
okay?
go. What time is it? Oh, it's 7:46. All right. So yeah, people who have to go can go. All right. I think we're pretty close because I've kind of spelled out what we need to cover, different kinds of loops. But we'll complete this. Okay, we're going to complete this, and also as long as people are here, I'll call and keep tossing on more problems.
So,
Yeah. Okay, Vikram, you can go
portion,
if you want.
what will the
Watch the
portion?
video.
Okay, it'll be posted, right?
Watch the video. Try out all of the code and post questions. Ask questions in the Reddit. Okay, saying I don't understand this concept. It's going to be in the midterm. Can someone help me? Okay, it's a whole lot faster than asking in the looking in the book and all. I think at this time.
All right, thanks.
So anything you don't understand in anything that we're doing now, ask.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
And did you mark my attendance for today?
Your attendance will be there because when you do the survey, I'll actually know. Oh, actually, I won't know. But I will know. I will know all of the people here in class today, right? Because you're all here in the video.
Okay.
So don't worry about the attendance. And when you send your corrections in, you can say, "Well, I was in the midterm meeting. Here are my corrections for the
All
midterm." Right. Yeah, I trust you most of the time. So best of luck for your midterm. Okay, anyone who has to disappear. Okay, best of luck for your midterm. Do well. Practice a lot. And do well. Okay, that's what I want to see at the end.
Thank you.
All right. But people are going to stick around. I guess I hope some people will stick around. Yeah. All right. I will work with anyone who's sticking around. Kira, you can complete the code. Yeah, Kira, complete the code.
What's the thing I have to include for like random? Is it just like
for random, I think you don't need anything, but just to be sure, so we don't CSTDLIB. Okay, CSTDLIB. I don't B lib. Yeah, I think we don't need it, but just to be sure. Yeah, that's fine. It won't autocomplete. I don't think it'll autocomplete. Int of I equals rand %. I don't think it'll autocomplete. Or GDB is not.
Yeah, I can't remember. Is it like
Rand. No, rand. Just rand.
Okay.
Rand. And by the way, srand and stuff like that won't be in your midterm. Okay. Again, so that's something you can carry into your the survey, because srand is strictly speaking not part of CS2A. It's not necessary for the exams. It's not at all necessary in the syllabus, but we talked about it, at least for 10 or 15 minutes, what srand does and what, the random distribution is and so on and so forth. So you can tell in the survey that, we talked about this digression about other things that was not necessary for us, right? So you can say that if you want, right? Or you can say, I like those digressions. I want more side facts, because the other things I can always pick up on my own from the textbook and the modules, right? By Googling, but these side facts are, so all of that, fair game to say, and it's all anonymous. Okay, I don't see who wrote what. I think because I set the survey up so that you don't have to type in your email address. So anyone who has the link can fill it in. So please feel free to be yourself and say whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Yeah, and we're just looking for frank feedback here, because at the end of the day, this quarter is completely experimental. And I only have like 3 or 4 more quarters before I retire anyway. So if it's experimentally not a good idea, I can just go back to the old way of doing this for the remaining quarters. You need a semicolon after one of those things. I saw something missing. Yeah, int 0, and then I think there's a semicolon missing somewhere in your for loop. Oh, I see. No, you can't do that. All right, here is an interesting problem. Okay, it's a really interesting problem. What would you do if the vector is empty? Rebecca, thank you, Rebecca. No worries. Best of luck, all of you, right? Anyone who has to go, best of luck. What would you do if the vector was empty? It's got to return a minimum integer, but there's no way you can return an integer. Yes. So what you would do is, if int start size equals 0, then here, this is a hack, okay? It's a total hack, but everybody uses this. Even professional C++ programmers who wrote the library use this hack, okay? If it is 0, then what you're going to return is something called, hang on. Yeah, there's a name for it. Yeah, right. Okay. String, or type this. Okay. String, double colon, NPOS. Okay. Now, does anybody know what this means? It looks kind of funky, isn't it? So what does it mean? It is a hack. Professionals use it all the time. In you know, and you'll be using it in in the advanced quest. What does it mean? Does anybody know what that thing is? Now, string colon npos. Npos is an abbreviation for no position. Okay, and so you got to remember this unintuitively. And what that means, a string colon npos is basically just a long variable. It's an unsigned long variable that is the biggest possible number you can get, biggest possible positive number you can get. Okay, and so what people did, when you have a function that has to return a value, a number, a positive number, but there is no, you can't return one because you don't have a number. What do? You return this, and this is called a sentinel. Okay, it's a sentinel return value for an int. In fact, you can put a comment there on line 10. Put a comment at the end of line 10. This is called a string. This is called a this is called a sentinel return for an integer. Okay, for an integer.
Also, sorry, I do actually have to go, but is it okay if I'll just put the share code to this in chat and someone else can take it from here?
Yes, totally. You post the link and someone can pick it up. Thank you, Kira, for coding. Okay, but I think we're pretty much close to the end, right? So she's got the vector filled in and she's passing it by the reference, and it is calculating the minimum, right? And it's got the npos. And you got to, if it's not clear how to do this, right? All you have to do is ask, and then we'll just figure it out. The other way you can do this is basically set that integer because positive and negative. Yeah, okay. All right. So you got to figure out how to find the minimum. It is actually a minimum challenge. It's a small challenge. Okay, it's a small challenge finding the minimum because the vector could be empty. You don't know. If the vector is not empty, if you know for sure that it's not empty, you can go. Basically, this is the answer. Right? If you know for sure the vector is not empty, you can start off with the assumption the first element is a minimum, and then test everyone else. And say, is the second less than the first? Is the third less than the second? And you start with the hypothesis, saying this is my hypothesis. The first one is a minimum. Then check the second one, scientific method, right? Check. Oh, all right. I thought that was the minimum. The second number is just smaller than the minimum. Then that is the minimum, right? Keep on revising the hypothesis as you step through the array, and when you go through the last element, you've got the answer. The total minimum. Now, does that logic make sense to everybody? Yeah. So it's just like science. You assume the hypothesis. Your hypothesis is the first element is the minimum because I haven't seen anything else. You only saw the first element. That's the minimum. Now I'm going to see the second element, and then I'm going to revise my hypothesis, right? Not like a close-minded person. And say, all right, well, the second is actually smaller. So my minimum is not that. It's this. You could keep on changing your mind as you see evidence, right? So, and then when you've run out of all of the evidence, you know what the grand truth is, or at least we know what the evidence says. So that is a strategy to find out, and then you're going to check if the vector is empty because you don't want to access the first element if the vector is empty. Because if you access the first element when the vector is empty, you'll get a segmentation fault. You'll say, hey, you're trying to access memory that doesn't belong to you, and it'll crash. Yeah. In fact, you should try this, have it crash, and then report on the Reddit saying, hey, I tried it and it crashed. Why did it crash? Okay. And then someone else will say, hey, it crashed because, a vector was empty. So I don't know if you have time to experiment with all of these. Okay. And I want you to experiment with all of these things, everything that we have comments in the code for, experiment for one of those, right? And you should have a chance. I know some of you didn't get a chance to code today. But if you want, let me know. We can have another class tomorrow because, it's not a big deal for me. If you guys want, some bunch of you get together and say, let's have another class and continue this, right? Because the midterm is not until the day after tomorrow. I'm at home tomorrow, and I can, I'll just be looking at your code otherwise, right? Or, or Reddit and forum posts and all. So I can absolutely take time out from that and work with you guys because your midterm is day after tomorrow. And you could say, hey, can we have another class, a midterm review for, 5 of us, 3 of us. We want to work through some code too. And we'll pick up this code that Kira wrote, right? Hopefully she shared the link, right? And we'll go from there and say, we'll rewrite that. And then we'll go step through the rest of the people too. Everybody will get a chance to code like that. And it'll be fun, right? So does anybody else want to code now, right? If you guys want to go, what time is it now? It's going to be 8. I'm okay. I'm okay with sticking around. If more people want to code, let me know. We'll just pick up the screen, right? And then go from Kira's program. Maybe we'll complete Kira's program and say, well, where does that take us, right? What can we do to change Kira's program to make it do something more interesting, or or add a couple more bells and whistles to it? Okay, so one step at a time, but each one will only get to do one thing, right? Because then we'll have a chance to do this through everybody will get a chance. I think that's what happened last class, right? Or maybe we'll try it out. Okay, this is because it's experimental. We'll try it out in class also, the regular class, not a review class. We'll try it in regular class and say, we'll take one big thing saying, well, we're going to do this thing, draw cubes, spinning cubes on screen, because we know how to position the cursor, right? But it's like 50 lines or a 100-line program, but one person doesn't get to write the whole thing. We'll do bits of it and then share, like a relay, pass the URL, and different people will get to code in the same program. I think it worked well okay today, right? We only jumped, a couple of people because we kept changing code. But I think if we use the same code, it'll successfully jump from, person to person through many. Yeah, I think so. We'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot next Tuesday when we start coding objects. Okay. Now, if anyone else wants to take the screen and start coding, I'm happy, right? I'm happy to take Kira's code and then, take it to the next level. Yeah. Because I don't have anything else lined up for today. So I'm saying that I'm happy to work with you on this. Unless you guys want to take off, right? That's okay with me too. And if you want another class tomorrow, that's fine. Just send me an email. What do you want? No? Hey, Angelos, you're talking, but I can't hear you. I saw your lips moving. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't mind sticking around to
okay, all right.
Because
you want to take the screen? Because you haven't coded before in class, right?
No, what I'm saying is it's like I don't mind seeing someone else code because I'm a little behind, and like seeing other people code is actually helping me pick up stuff.
Okay. Day after tomorrow, before you're okay, you're confident with day after tomorrow, and you only have like one day before you have to pick up the stuff for the midterm.
Yeah, I am confident for the midterm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm cool for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay then. That's okay. But you should code in class. You should next week and all. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Who else wants to code? Does anybody else want to code? Vivian, Vanessa, you didn't code. In fact, you haven't coded in class. Mohammed, you coded, right? The very first class or so, you coded or something. Yeah, if you want, you can. Even today, did you code today too?
No, because there was an issue with screen sharing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we started with you, but we didn't manage to do it. You can if you want. You can if you want. Yeah. Hey, Jink, you can only see your forehead. Your camera is like that. Okay. So yeah, Zach, you too. Akash, if Juliana, anybody who wants to take the screen and start coding, I'm happy to sit with you and get coded.
I can code, but I'm only confident for the loops though.
Don't worry. Yeah, we'll basically walk you through it, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So in fact, click on Kira's link, and then we'll just. I know you said that you did want to review some of the stuff that we're doing in the lecture after the lecture, right? Before when I asked. So yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
And who wants to go after Juliana, by the way, right? Or you don't have to, but we can, right? Great. So in the for statement I see where minimum and all, where's the minimum? Did she fill it in with randoms? I thought she filled it in randoms too. Yeah. Yeah. No, further down, scroll to main, scroll down to main, line 25 maybe. Oh, there you go. Line 38, vector ends.
So
I'm
confident to do this.
There's syntax errors here that I totally missed. Okay. So vector int, no equals ints. Okay. It should just be vector int ints. Vector int.
Right here?
No equals. There's no equal sign.
Oh my gosh. Wait.
No, so on line 38, see, she has vector int and then equals ints. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So get rid of the equals.
Jesus Christ, my computer is just. Oh, I did.
Yeah. Take your time. Oh, because it wasn't forked. You had to fork the code before you can edit it.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay, so just take the equal.
Yeah, vector. All right. Now on the next line, right? So we want 10 vectors in there. Yeah. 10 numbers in there. So let's resize it. Let's resize it because you know what we did before, there was a bug in there. Because maybe hopefully Kira will watch this video, right? And pick up on these things too. So after line 38, hit enter. After line 38, hit enter. Right? And here you're going to say ints.resize. Ints.resize. Ints. That is the name of the vector. Yeah, that's a variable. Ints is a vector of integers. Yeah, that's the name that Kira chose. Yeah, everybody okay with this? Yeah, Vanessa? Yeah. All right, great. So yeah, resize, open parentheses, and you're going to say 10. So that's got 10 numbers in there. Oh, she's got 100. Oh, she's got 100. So resize to 100.
Oh, so 100 here.
No, actually just make it 10 because we're going to be printing out those numbers and, you know, find the minimum of those numbers, right? So you need to be on one line. So let's say just 10. That means inside of the loop also, you say I less than 10, not I less than 100. And also put spaces on both sides of the less than so that it's cleaner. Oh, maybe it's okay this way too. No, I think this is cleaner, right? And then, oh, I see. And get rid of the braces because there's only one line. Get rid of the braces, which is cleaning up Kira's code. It was mostly okay, but we didn't, you know, get through it in time. Right. So, and then rand is a function call, so that rand, you have to call rand with open and close parentheses.
Right here.
Yeah, and then it needs you know, the operator. The percent operator is a modulus operator. It's a binary operator. It takes you on this side and that side. So say, hey, I got balloons now. Did you guys see the balloons?
Yeah, I saw that.
So previously, you know, there were stars and all, and did someone initiate those balloons? Did someone, you know, pop the balloons there?
I think it's a new. Do you have a Mac?
Oh yeah, I do have a Mac. Yeah.
I think it's this new update on Mac. Try doing this again.
Oh, wow. This is so cool, Juliana. You made my day here. Okay. I had no idea how this was being triggered because it used to happen before. No. Oh, and then if I do this, what about this? What?
I think you can do like, dislike, and
I gotta figure this out. Okay. All right. So because there's sparkling stars and all before.
This, I don't know. There's like specific movements that you make. Yeah.
Enough for me to play with for a couple of days, I think. That's so cool. Oh, Akash, thank you. All right. Wait, I'm surprised it's Apple. It's Mac rather than Zoom, because you know Zoom has first cut at these pictures. Yeah. In fact,
and
you know,
it's for like every app that you're using, like Instagram, Facebook, whatever. If you do that in front of the camera, overall,
I see.
Yeah.
So they're doing it on the feed itself, and they're doing this AI to basically figure out what the expression is and matching it to a bunch of stock expressions. Yeah, okay, you can do that in real time. That's pretty cool. All right, so put spaces on both sides of the percent. Well, I had no idea because, you know, yesterday it happened in CS2B meeting, and I asked, and people didn't know, and so that's cool.
Yeah.
Range percent I. All right. Okay. So does everybody understand what that loop does? It just goes over the vector and prints, you know, fills in each of those slots with a random number between 0 and 100. Everybody okay with this? Because we've done this several times in class. All right. So, all right. Find min. All right. Put a blank line before 42. And then let's also qualify the C out. The C out, and then the minimum of the numbers is, and then find min. Right. Minimum of the numbers is find min.
Okay. So.
Oh, yeah. On the same line as C out. On the same line as C out. On 43. On 43, before the find min, yeah. Say the minimum is within quotes, the minimum is, and then yeah, space, space, and then space, close, and then left shift the find min.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Left shift the find min, and then endl after that too. Now, here is the thing, right? It says this is the minimum, but we don't know what is the minimum of, right? It doesn't make sense. So here is a small challenge for you guys. We're not going to do this unless you guys want to do it. Maybe someone else can do it, right? At taking the screen. So before, I'll go to line number 42 and hit enter. Yeah, one more. No, open a comment. Right? Say call a function. called print vector, which will print all the integers on one line with tabs between them. Okay, now that's something you got to write. Who would like to write the function? Juliana, would you like to write the function? Right, this is just another function like the min. We'll do that together. All right. Right.
Okay, so call function print vector.
Call a function called print vector. Print vector.
Oh, vector, not
print underscore vector. Print underscore vector. Yeah. Yeah. Which will print the numbers in one line. Right. Okay. So do you want to write this? And on the next line, you can also say print vector and then pass the vector, pass the ints. Yeah. Print vector, print underscore vector. And then you're gonna pass ints as a parameter.
So right, like this.
Yeah, ints. That is the name of the vector, isn't it?
Yeah.
Semicolon. Yeah. All right. So it's going to print the vector, and then it's going to print the minimum 2 lines. That's what the output is. Now the function itself, print vector, hasn't been defined, so you're going to do it. So go to the top where Kira has defined find min. Right, find min. Where's find min? Right, int start size equals 0, return string and plus. Right. Min. All right. So now instead of on line 13, instead of in min equals 100, you're going to say min equals int of 0, because we know for sure that int has at least one element. Yes. Int square bracket 0. All right. Now you can go through the loop, right, in the for loop, and you can go from int equals I equals 1 to I less than int start size, I equals 1, because we know already we've got the first one.
Oh wait, is this int? This is ints, right?
Ints. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Right, and also put a space. The space on both sides is a less than. Yeah, there you go. All right. Now you're going to say if int square bracket I, and it's within parentheses, unlike in Python. Yeah. So you got to say if int square bracket I is less than min. No. If int square bracket by I is less than min. Yeah, is less than.
Less than what? Min.
Min. Yeah. And you don't need braces because it's only one line.
Yeah. Okay.
You can just say now you're going to change your revise your hypothesis. Now your min is not what I thought it was. It was in square bracket I. So tab in one more time. No, tab in, not blank line.
Oh, tab
in.
Yeah. Sorry.
So you say min equals in square bracket I. No, int square bracket I. Yeah. And in fact, you can even, but I wouldn't recommend it, right? Don't do it. You can even remove the curly braces from the for loop, because the for also, if you think about it, only has one statement. It's an if statement, but the if statement actually has two lines in it. Yeah. So technically, you can remove the braces from the for statement too, and it'll work because there's only one statement for the for.
Yeah.
But we won't do it, okay? Because it looks confusing. There's a blank line on 18. Get rid of the blank line. One more.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
There you go. All right. So now we want to write another function just like find min, except it's going to be print vector. All right. So it's, in fact, you can copy the whole function and paste it, which is what many programmers do. Copy the whole find min function, paste it.
So this whole thing?
Yeah, that whole thing, paste it. And then we'll make changes to it. Yeah, paste it. Yeah, copy it. And then a blank line after that, blank line. Yeah, and paste it. Right, now change the int to a void. It's going to print, but it's not going to return anything. So it's just say on line 21, on line 21, change it to void. It's not going to return anything. Okay, it's not returning anything. Void. And then instead of find min, it should be what was it? What do we call it? Print vector. Yeah. And yeah, okay, great. Now so if the size is 0, you just return. You don't return string.npass, just return blank, bam, like that. Now, if any of this is unclear, you should ask in the forum is better rather than here, because other people may also have the same question, right? Just return semicolon. And then it's only that return, so you can get rid of the braces. Get rid of the braces. Okay, now get rid of the int min. We don't need that. Now, all we need to do is simply print a tab and print the number. Okay, so here, what you're going to do is print the number and then print a tab, right? So yeah, get rid of the if and all. Get rid of the if.
Oh,
No, not that, not that one. Yeah, sorry.
This one.
That one. Thank you. Yes, that one. And get rid of the blank lines and all. You put some blank lines.
Yeah.
27, 28. Right. So in here, you're simply going to say cout int square bracket I, and then a tab.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, yeah, and then a tab, right? Left shift to tab after that. A tab is /t. Tab is /t.
A slash.
Tab is /t. No. You got a left shift. Left shift is /t within quotes. Space. So no space. Left shift. Left shift is 2 less than signs.
Oh, okay. This.
Yeah. Right. And then you're going to say int square bracket I. No. /t. No, not this. I'm sorry, Juliana. Right. /t and then /t again. Right. /t and
okay,
the /t needs to be. Yeah. /t and that needs to be within quotes.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Now semicolon after that. Now you don't need braces because it's only cout, right? So you can get rid of the braces on the for. Yeah, get rid of the braces. But after you exit the for statement, you can print a new line. Yeah, because you didn't print a new line, right? You printed a number tab. After the last number, it's going to print a new line. That's all. Okay. There you go. And you don't need the closing brace. You don't need the closing brace about that.
Oh, yeah.
But leave the blank. Yeah. And yeah, there you go. All right. Now, at the end, after cout, you just say return. Okay, that's it. Yeah. And then a blank line before the return would be nice. And then close the brace. And then a blank line. Close the brace. Closing brace. Yeah, a blank line after that, right? And put a blank line before the return also, so that the for and that is all set out. No, before the return. Before the return, sorry. And get rid of the blank one. Right, so that's all. Right, so that will take a vector and it's going to print all the vectors one after another. Numbers in the vector one after another. Does it make sense, everybody?
Yeah. So the /t is just a space. Or
yeah, it is not a space. Yeah, it is not a space. It is like a tab character.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Okay.
But sometimes it may look like a space. You're right.
Yeah.
Especially in the quests where you have formatting errors and all. Right. Yeah. Great. So that's basically it. This program should work. And in fact, if you run it now, I bet it will actually print numbers and the minimum, unless there's an error.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Oh, you don't have hash include vector at the top? And using namespace? Go right to the top of the code? Oh, you have to use namespace, using namespace standard. Space, namespace, space, standard. STD, semicolon. Yeah, semicolon. Now, compile it again, run it again. There you go. Well, oh, I see. All right, so you can ignore that warning, really. In fact, change that int to a long. Yeah, this is practice, and you people can think about this. Okay, change the int to a long all the way, because a long is the same size as size t, but int is shorter than size t. So it's saying, hey, you're returning something that's bigger than what I have. That is a complaint, right? So if you change everything to a long, it'll be fine, right? Yeah, vector of longs. And then where you're int, yeah, everything should be int min should be long min.
Wait, which one?
Oh, I see. Oh, bummer. Another vector is called ints. The vector should be called longs.
Like this.
Call it longs, right? Yeah, ints.size should be longs.size. Actually, this is all practice, because this is what programmers do a lot of times, right? If you're going to be a professional programmer, you got to get used to changing variable names like this. Well, in an IDE, you can do refactoring, which is nice.
Is this one?
No, that should be int.
Oh, that one should be int. Oh, yeah.
Only the ints.
In fact, no, let's do even better, Instead of int, it should be size t, because longs.size returns an unsigned integer, because size is unsigned, isn't it? Size doesn't make sense to be negative. So if we did this in questing, right? My questing compiler is a lot more strict than online GDB, I think. It'll say, hey, you're comparing a size t with an integer. One of them can be negative and the other one cannot be negative, right? So you'll get the warning. But if you change that to a size t, is a for int equals I, change it to for size t I equals 1, right? For size t I equals 1. And then, yeah, I space equals 1, space equals space, yeah. All right, so all right, now longs of I, all right, that's great. Now go to the print vector, all right? That should also change, right? Maybe print vector, the next line, right? That should also be all ints, longs, yeah, longs. Double click and just say, in fact, copy that. Copy longs, yeah, double click and copy longs, and then you double click and paste everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, there, on line 31.
Oh yeah, there's one more here.
And then also, yeah, above that.
30.
And then this one should be size t on 30, yeah, size t. And put spaces on both sides of the equals also while you're at it, size t. Right, size, all right, so that's okay, Oh, a vector of longs, not vector of int. On 23, on line 23. Right? No, vector of long.
Oh yeah, long, not longs.
Yeah. And now in main, go further down in main. Right. So a vector of int, that should be vector of longs. And then that should also be longs. Here's where using an IDE is usually helpful, because in an IDE, you can just click on that and say, rename it to long everywhere. Okay.
Should this int be size t too?
That should be size t, yes. No, in fact, that doesn't matter because you're not comparing it to a size t, right? 10 could be an integer, yeah? So that could be int also. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, if you compile it now, I think you'll run it without warnings.
Yeah.
You still got a warning?
There's one warning.
Oh, yeah. Line 21. Let's go to line 21. Can you increase the size of the code part? Yeah. Yeah. Scroll up a bit more. Oh, yeah. You have to return min. At the end of after line 20, enter. Yeah, return min. Yeah, we're not returning min. We're calculating min, but we're not returning it. How come it ran? The program ran.
Yeah.
That's like a fatal compilation error. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna run.
So if you run it now, it should be.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Is it correct though? 15? I don't see 15 at all. Oh, there it is.
It's right above it. Yeah.
It's like a game. You do, like the averaging game. You can actually show some numbers and disappear the numbers and say what was the minimum. That is cool. Yeah. So those are ideas you can try. Please take a crack at all of these, extra credit opportunities that we're throwing out. Yeah, like this game. Develop your own version of the game and share it, because all of that you can put, in the final report. You can say, these are all the extra credit opportunities I tried, right? Even 10 links to 10 programs you tried, and they're all super useful. Thank you, Juliana. Does it answer all of your questions? Now, we covered a lot of concepts, especially important ones from the midterms perspective. Vivian, you have a question?
Yeah, what is the NPOS? What does that mean?
All right, so a string : NPOS is basically just an alias for a secret number that exists inside of a library. And that number is really the largest possible number you can get in a long, in an unsigned long. So it is really 2 to the 32 minus 1, if you calculate that, right? If you calculate, and the reason we do that is because sometimes a function has to return an integer. But what happens if you cannot return an integer? Like the vector is empty, you can't return 0, because if you return 0, it means, the vector was not empty and 0 is a minimum. Yeah. So you got to return what is called a sentinel. A sentinel is not part of the data. If you get a sentinel, it means something was wrong. Yeah. And so string : NPOS is conventionally used as a convenient sentinel by lots of programmers, professional programmers. When they have to return an integer, but they're unable to return an integer, they'll return this. And in your main, what you do is, go to your main now, Juliana. So in your main, after you got the min, where you got the min, right? So what you got to do is on line 62, hit enter on line 62, right? You say long min equals, yeah, space min equals, find min longs. Yeah, semicolon. On the next line, you're going to say, on the next line, if min equals string colon n pos, if min double equals, right? String double colon n pos, yeah. On the next line, you're going to say the vector was empty. See out the vector was empty. And then the other one would be else. Does it make sense now? Yeah, thank you for asking that question. Endel, you've got to get in the habit, right? You play it out in your head and you'll see that it's missing an endel, yeah? And then enter, and then you're going to say else for the other cout. Because you don't want both of them, yeah? And then indent in the other cout. All right. Now, in this case, of course, we know the vector is not empty because we're filling it with 10, right? But this is, you write a function. It's general purpose function. Someone could call it and give it an empty vector, right? So we're writing the function in the general purpose way, but calling it to make sure it doesn't work. But this is what you do. Does this make sense for everybody? Yeah, Jink, are you good? Yeah. All right. That's fantastic. Angelos, you're good too. You're nodding your head. Okay. Juliana, you're good too. Yeah. Vivian, Jink, I can't see you, right? I can only see your forehead, really. Are you okay with this?
I think okay.
All right, okay. So if any of you have any questions about any of the things that we discussed today, or even any of the other things in the modules or reading material for the midterm, you should ask. Tomorrow is your chance, right? In the forums, we will jump in and answer. Yeah, Chris also has time. Everybody has time to jump in and answer these questions. And the idea is to be well prepared for your midterm. Thank you all and best of luck. Right? If I don't see you guys tomorrow, I'll see you on Tuesday, okay?
Oh, also, Professor, just a comment that maybe people don't know, but it's pretty useful. The STEM Center, they offer help until like midnight every day. So
oh, they do?
Yeah.
Every day of the week?
Yeah, like it's like 7 days a week, and I don't remember if it's like every day of the week, but most days they're offering help until like.
Oh, that is fantastic, Juliana. I didn't know that. Thank you for well, you know what? You should make a post in the Reddit because I didn't know that.
Okay.
Because Constantine said in the past that he's got the window of hours. I didn't think it was this big. All right, so that's fantastic.
It was someone from my discrete math class that mentioned that they needed help like the day before class, and they just logged into the STEM Center like
oh wow
Zoom
and it was there.
Yeah, and people was there to help, so that might be useful too, since like the midterm is tomorrow. Maybe if people like keep coding, I'll post that on Reddit now.
Just please do. Yeah.
People, yeah. That's.
I don't know if there are CS tutors. I don't know if there are CS tutors at that time. What you can do though is send an email to me and Chris and say, hey, we're in the STEM Center. Can someone come and help? Right? We'll just hop in.
Yeah. Well, maybe someone that is there, they might not be a tutor, but they might be able to help. So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, just wanted to let everybody.
All right. Thank you all so much for attending class. Hey, fill in the survey, please. Okay, fill in the survey. And
can you send that link again, please?
Oh, it's in the chat. It's in the chat.
I
in fact, you should probably share it with.
I could send it again. Let me copy it.
Okay.
Yeah, did you get it? Did you get it?
Yeah.
I had to log off and log back in, and then I lost just.
Okay, actually, I can find the link myself now. It's somewhere in there. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I found it. Yeah, it's a Google form. So just do it, and it'll be very interesting for me to look at the results. And then we'll tweak our class structure going forward. We only have midway point, so we can do it differently for the remaining 6 weeks if you guys suggest.
Okay.
Juliana.
Awesome. I totally enjoyed today's class. Thank you all.
Is it possible if you can share the code that we just?
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me get that.
No problem. Thank you. There's like a share right above it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
And then Vivian, did you also share the link to the survey? Because Juliana.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, I just shared it. Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
I got it.
Awesome. Thank you all. Okay. Thank you all, and I will see you on Tuesday, next Tuesday, And we'll do it in Zoom, right? Unless you guys say we don't want Zoom, we'll do it in class. That's fine. I'll come to class too, because I'm experimenting with this. If this works, we'll just do it this way, right? But I'm pretty sure I want to have a face-to-face class before the cold really sets in. So we'll try and do that too.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. Bye.
All right.
Best of luck.
Bye. Let's see.